Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, friends. How are you doing today? I am good. My shoulder's a little stiff, a little sore for some reason. I was doing a bit of stretching earlier. Don't know what that's about. But are we ready for round 2 of mushroom felted fabulousness? Now, I know I said that we were going to needle felt I was going to needle felt my other mushrooms off stream, and then we're going to complete the little thing together. But I got so excited that I finished it yesterday. And look how freaking cute it is. Oh my goodness. I didn't even do, you know how I was talking about how I wanted to do like the little neck frill on the stem of the mushrooms? I forgot to do that, and I'm not even mad. Like, I'm so excited and so happy with how this turned out. I know we're not autofocusing very well, but still, there we go. I'm so happy with it. So today, since this went so well, we are now in like hard mode. Not hard mode, we're in large mode, I guess. So we're gonna attempt a bigger piece today. So this is what this guy looks like, and then here's the size of this one. And so the plan is to do a fairy circle, a mushroom fairy circle, specifically these fairy ring champion mushrooms, which obviously are what create the fairy rings that we know and love. So we're doing sort of like a cream yellowish kind of color. This wasn't really showing me what the formation was looking like, so I did do some cross-reference Googling in terms of what our fairy ring sort of color scope might look like, and also the size and shape of the mushrooms a little bit. So I think I want to try to go a bit more dome shape with these. These guys kind of have a bit more of like a floppy summer hat vibe. So that's kind of what we're going to do. I'm not sure if these are large enough. I think they are still going to be similar size maybe to the large mushroom here. So I think if we go for sort of this size or a little bit bigger, I was debating whether or not I would try to be a bit more specific with the gills on the mushroom, similar to this guy here, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. Again, it's one of those where because these things are so small, I'm realizing like, I don't know. I'm sure if I could go super detailed with this, I think that would obviously be incredible. The more detailed, the better, but also I'm not gonna beat myself up over the fact that things aren't gonna be looking 100% accurate, you know, because they're tiny little sculptures. They're little whimsical forest core realness sculptures. So I feel like we can suspend our 100% accuracy in the mushroom department. I'm a little chilly today, so I figured it was the perfect opportunity for me to actually wear my new foraging sweater from Knock Thrice. I've had this, my mom brought it over because I ordered it, sent to her place, and then finally she brought it with me when she was visiting, but it's been too cold to actually wear it on stream. Look, we have some turkey tails. We have our OG, we have a chanterelle, we have an Amanita muscaria, and then we have some fiddleheads and a little acorn pocket, and it's just the cutest thing ever, and I'm obsessed with it. But obviously it's been way too hot to wear such things, but there's a bit of a cool breeze right now, so I figured time to wear one of my favoritist sweaters I own now. I would have left the window open to get more coolness, but Liam and my brother-in-law, and my father-in-law are still working on the patio outside, and they're blasting copywritten music, so I don't want to leave the window open and thus be under the scrutiny of the copywriters. So that's what's up with that today. So, plan of action. I feel like last time I worked on, the step one I think would be the mushroom caps again and then attaching. I do think though that we're going to be getting much skinnier stems. Part of me kind of wants to make the stems first. I don't know. I don't know. Not glad, Hash. Seeing you wearing a jacket. Oh no, are you getting warm just seeing me in a sweater because it's like 40 degrees where you are right now? Are you being triggered? Are you melting in your spot right now? Yeah. Yeah, you need to go in the fridge. Yeah, I think so. Stick your head in the freezer for a minute, cool down. 45, that's nuts. That is nonsense. That is nonsensical, Probacus. So I have this sort of like, I don't know if you can really see. So this is a bit more of like an off-white color, and then this is a bit more of like a yellowy color. And I feel, I don't know, maybe we do some color mixing. I've not done some color mixing in a minute. We'll do a little bit of that. Just because I think it would be nice. And then I think we will isolate these two colors separately as well with the creation of this. To be fair, Probacus, I don't know how long the sweater is going to last. Tomorrow we hit a record high. Like, at that point, is it considered, like, illegal to work? Do you know what I mean? Like, I know that places of employment, well, if they don't, they should have air conditioning and things like that. Like, but do some departments close? I feel like when it gets to a certain point, like with heat, I feel like, at least, I don't know where, but like, for instance, construction workers are not allowed to work in heat above a specific temperature and stuff like that, right? So I'm like, there must be rules and regulations about industries operating in such heat. See, I don't know how long this sweater is gonna last. I'm already like, my hair was down and I was already like, no, we're having none of this. Back up it goes. Really? Only welding is not allowed. Okay, I guess for like fire hazards and stuff. That seems like there should, no, that seems, I feel like there should be more regulations. It's so interesting. When I've spread this color out, it actually looks very pale. So we don't need a lot of this. So yeah, we're just going to mix these fibers together. Honestly, they're already sort of blended in just because they're not that different in terms of the color palette, which is good for me because that makes it a bit easier in terms of our color mixing. So based on, we're trying to attract investment in tourists these days, so yeah, I guess so, but like, is investing in tourism mean divesting in the safety and security of your own people? That's a bit awkward. So based on, I think we can maybe even make them a little bit bigger than this. And then we can maybe get, I don't know, like 8? Yeah, between like 6 and 8 mushrooms, I think, is maybe what the goal is for our fairy ring. Basic wage is 6.5 euros, so there's no rush to get it higher. Right. That's fair. But that's different. That's different, like, money in terms, I get, you know, wages and stuff like that, but I mean more like outside of wages. Like, refusing work when the heat is a certain, there must be, I know, like, in Canada they have that. To be fair, it is quite high. Like, I think it does have to be, like, 38 degrees or, like, 35 degrees in the place that you're working in. So if they can keep it at, like, 32, which I still think is a stupid temperature for an office building, that is still legal grounds. I don't know the specific numbers, so, like, don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure it's, like, yeah, it can still get quite warm from a human standpoint, but it will get to a certain point if something happens to someone. That's true, yeah. Exactly. Okay. I think that's good enough. So we want to go for a little bit larger than this and a little bit more domed than these guys. So I'm wondering if we sort of... I don't know. We're just making a disc. You get what I mean? And yeah. Yeah, unless there, it's one of those things, and I think it's with a lot of industries and in a lot of countries as well, where, like society, because we live in a capitalist society where it's all about money and bottom dollar and stuff like that, and like the bottom line, a lot of industries are proactive instead of reactive, so they won't put anything in place or pay out for safety, security, whatever, unless something happens. Because as long as something isn't happening, there's no need in the mind of like a, you know, from a monetary standpoint, why would you invest and spend money in something that has the potential to not even happen in the first place, right? But yeah. Oh, traveling heat message. Yeah, so they'll be like, oh, please take care, please travel with water. They do that here too, where they're like, it is especially hot, especially in the undergrounds. Like if it's already really hot outside, it'll be even hotter in the underground because everyone's packed in there like sardines. So they'll be like, exercise caution, make sure you bring lots of water to drink and stuff like that. So yeah. Yeah. Don't know if this was the right way to do this, but this is what we're doing. Again, though, things never 100% look the way they're supposed to with needle felting, and then it all comes together in the end. At least this is an off-white, so it's a bit easier for you guys to see up against the white foam block. So that's nice. Yeah. I would like to think, though, I don't know, at least for me, because a lot of times, like, I think about it in terms of, like, eco-friendly products and stuff as well. Like, if I know that a company is trying really hard and, like, can back up the fact that, like, they're paying their staff a living wage and they're working really hard to, like, reduce their greenhouse gas emissions and stuff like that, like, I'm more likely as a consumer to purchase products and invest in companies that are leading with human and environmental rights. You know what I mean? I understand that not everybody works that way, though, and I think it's within some industries it's difficult, or there's not a whole lot of transparency, so sometimes it is hard to make an informed decision. But I would hope that, you know, but maybe not. But optimistically, I would like to think that certain businesses realize that there are a lot of more consumers like that. And so they would be making those sorts of changes to invest in the future. But who knows? There comes a, yeah. But I don't know, man. I get that probably to start a business and to do those things depending on the industry. I think, well, starting a business in general is probably very difficult. And then I think depending on the industry, that can then increase or decrease the level of difficulty. I don't have any interest in, like, the number crunching or anything like that. They will not be competitive enough. Their price will have to be higher. Well, yeah, exactly. And there is an understanding with that, though. Like I said, I fully understand that if people are going to do the right thing for the environment and for humanity, that does cost more. But for a quality product that is supporting the people who are making it, I would do that. In places where I can, and I understand that. There is that. Would you buy it if it was British made? Yeah. That's the thing, right? Where, like, it's making those choices where and when you can. And other avenues, it is a lot more difficult because the industry is monopolized in a lot of ways. So I'm not saying that it's easy as a consumer for every single one. I also do feel, though, like, not being funny, I feel like being the phone you choose, like, whether or not you are a Samsung or an Apple, like, phone companies to me almost feel very cult-like in the sense that, like, I'm fully indoctrinated into the Apple space, and so I think I would struggle to switch to a Samsung or to switch to an Android at this point. Like, if you told me the other day, like, if you told me and turned around and was like, yeah, there's this Samsung or whatever, like, there's this phone that's, like, a third of the price of the phone you currently have, I would be like, cool, but I've fully drank the Kool-Aid at this point. It would be very difficult for me to transition. I don't know. That's just, like, the Luddite in me being like, I'm stuck in my ways in those certain capacities. Like, I've had an iPhone for years, and obviously I've had, like, different iterations of it, but I know, at least to a certain capacity, how it's supposed to work. Though, mind you, more and more, I find it's, like, monopolizing itself and making it harder and harder to use things that are not cloud-based, which pisses me off. I'm like, why do I want to save all my photos on cloud storage when I actually have a computer that has storage capacity to store my photos? And then the phone is like, oh, I'm just going to disconnect and make it really hard for you to do this. And I'm like, listen, screw you. Walks in, sees the iPhone comment, quickly has my iPhone hit. Yeah. See, Pete has also drank the Kool-Aid. We are both fully indoctrinated. Greek-made products have such a higher markup. No one buys them. Garbage venture bags are Greek that are much higher quality than the Indian ones, but they cost 3 times as much. Yeah. Is that one of those things, though? Because then, as well, just because, I don't know, like, I feel like I understand, like, just because something is made in the UK doesn't necessarily mean that they are, like, from my perspective, like, what they're doing doesn't necessarily mean that they are treating their employees and the environment with respect. So it's all about, like, again, it's all a cost-benefit analysis and seeing whether or not it actually is beneficial for you to invest in the more expensive item or not. Apple all the way, so much better than Windows, even though I'm using Windows laptop at the moment. Yeah, no. iPhone, I do Apple for phones. I do Windows for computers because that's one of those things, and it's so funny. So, like, I can wrap my brain around an iPhone, can't wrap my brain around a MacBook. I'm like, nah. So I've only drunk the Apple Kool-Aid, and I've only drunk the Apple Kool-Aid when it comes to phones and music management. But even then, I don't really listen to music that much, like, that I, in the same capacity as I listen to podcasts now. Yeah. I think he knows, Probacus. I think we're just making a joke and realizing that, like, he is big Apple consumer. He has drunk the Kool-Aid. But yes, I think we're aware you were making an example about any product. But thank you for the clarification. But yeah, Shadow is currently supervising the construction zone. Yeah. That's another thing too, right? Sometimes you just need, and to be fair, it's not like, because I think there's a difference between, like, being into a product because you're, again, like, have drunk the Kool-Aid and want, like, the highest end models and the stuff or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, I know people who would be like, oh my God, they're launching the newest tech. I need to line up and have it. Whereas I'm like, basically, I will use my phone until it dies or is no longer supported. Like, it's one of those where I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, I'm going to get the top of the line product. I'm like, I'm investing in this now, which is expensive, but it's hopefully, if it's supposed to, it does the job right, it will last me for years to come. The thing that pisses me off is when you have a perfectly good tech product and it's then no longer supported by the person who creates it. That's the thing that's really annoying. Yeah. So if anything, Probacus, it's probably a good thing because then you're not a slave to the commercialism. Don't worry about that, you know? If anything, you are actually superior to us and we are slaves to the capitalist tech system and you are actually thriving in comparison. See the new MacBook Air and I was, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I did see that the Mac, like, the new, isn't it the new Air Mac is, like, bigger or something like that? I keep seeing the commercial where they're like, look at this, and they, like, expand a balloon on the screen, and then it, like, makes the air, like, the new laptop bigger or whatever. I don't know, man. I'm like, until something dies on me, I will not. Absolutely, absolutely. That's the thing, right? Like, if what you have does what you need it to do, then there's no need. If, for whatever reason, you have something and you need to invest in the tech, like, I feel like, you know, I ended up getting an iPad. In general, I just got a tablet in general. But it's because I wanted to be able to take digital cross-stitch patterns with me and be able to do that. And so I saw a need that a piece of technology could fill, but I wouldn't have got it just for the sake of it, right? Like, oh, you want to watch movies, play games, and like my phone and my PC and my TV already do that. That's not necessary to me, but I felt like I saw a need for whatever purpose, and then it made sense. You know what I mean? My PC from 2016, so that's good, honestly. And I think I think that's the other thing too. There's also a big, especially within the tech world, a lot of times there is a monopoly, and what happens when things break, like, there used to be this, like, and there's a movement right now, I think it's called, like, the right to repair movement, because basically what was happening is basically years and years ago, tech, and I mean, like, your microwave, your TV, like, whatever, shit would break, and you could go to a hardware store and get the one single fuse or the one single piece that you needed, right? And it's like, now, your iPhone dies. If you take it apart, you ruin the warranty. If that is even under warranty still. Or you find a little piece, and it's like, oh no, well, we don't sell that. You have to buy the whole ass new phone, right? And that's, like, so I'm a full proponent to, like, if I can do what I can, if it is worth the time and effort for me to invest in that sort of thing to fix something, it is eco-friendlier 100%. 15-inch screen, empty processing. They have taken the shell of the MacBook Pro and put a MacBook Air parts. Oh, interesting. Again, I don't know enough about either of those to know, but I'm like, okay, sounds good. It will serve me for the next 4 years until Microsoft says Windows 10 is too much these days. Yeah, well, and that's before it forces everyone over to Windows 11, right? Glad I came in as I'm a fun guy in the stream. You are! Pun very much intended, but also you are spitting facts. You are spitting the truth. Yes, yeah. Or Move Battle would be a thing. That's awesome. Well, yeah, because I even saw a thing. I'm not sure if it's gone through yet, or if I think it's with future phone products. Because the Apple, like, Lightning cable is only used to charge Apple products. And I think there was, like, a lawsuit or something that some company, if it was the EU, if it was whatever. Exactly, yeah. So they're moving on to a more universal charging method to then be able to do that. Yes, I've heard about that because Liam really likes watching Linus Tech Tips. And I think they are invested in framework laptops and are showing that process where they're going to have the option to do that. I think that's so good. I think that's such a good idea. I'm a big proponent, big fan. All right. Yeah, that's about the size. I don't know if do we want to go a bit bigger? Maybe. I don't know, actually. Maybe a little bit. Maybe we go just like a smidge bigger. We want it to be a little bit bigger than this little guy. EU may never move to Type-C. Apple said they would put a chip in their cables that EU said nope, not doing that. Yeah. Yeah, well, that's the thing. They already pissed me off when they removed the iPhone, like the phone jack. I think a lot of phones have like moved, like the headphone jacks are, and I get that everyone's all Bluetooth and whatever. But I think the thing that bothers me is when you get a new piece of tech because your old one died or is no longer supported. And then it's like, you're not just getting a new phone. You also need to get new headphones, new chargers, new whatever. Like all this kind of shit. And it's like, no. I just needed this one piece of tech. All my other tech accessories work still. And they go, yeah, but not with this new tech. And you're like, well, that's dumb. Thank you very much for the redeem. Cheers, everyone. Drink your tea. But yeah. No, I married into a family full of tech heads, so we are very much keen on right to repair and, you know, upgrading things yourself as opposed to, it sounds like I think there's no turning back with the environment. Too many people with very high standards these days to be supported. Yeah, I don't know. It will be interesting. I do think, unfortunately, like, there are a lot of, you know, it's one of those where if it gets one of those, because the thing that my in-laws, like, we always talk about, yeah. But I don't think tech isn't necessarily the problem. I think there are problems within every industry, but like there's issues with fast fashion, there's issues with tech, there's issues with, you know, energy, there's issues with, like, there's all these different corporations and different business sectors and things like that that have their environmental issues. And so, yeah, I don't think that any one area completely overhauling is going to fix the problem. The thing that's really interesting, well, it's interesting, but it's funny, right? Because, you know, there's all of these articles, you know, that come out about how the earth is doomed, right? Like, oh, the earth is doomed, it's warming up, whatever. And so me and my mother-in-law laugh, like, she kind of laughs about it, and she goes, no, like, earth is not doomed, earth is fine. Like, the actual earth itself is fine. The humans are fucked, right? Because the earth has gone through an ice age, it's you know what I mean? Like, it's wiped itself clean before, and then it comes back, you know what I mean? Like, it goes through a cycle, a process of change and evolution, right? So the articles about how the earth is doomed is like, no, actually, the earth will just continue to be the earth and it'll go through a metamorphosis. It's us who are unable to live or survive during that metamorphosis change that are fucked, right? But, yeah. I think it's one of those where, yeah, I think it's, if we think that it is inevitable, I think what it is trying to put things in place to slow down the inevitability. That's what it is. Because I think it's a very nihilistic or a very, like, shitty thing to be like, well, shit's fucked, so we're just going to embrace it. And it's like, no, we can slow it down. So, like, you know, maybe our grandchildren aren't suffering through a burning hellfire inferno. It'll be our great-great-great-grandchildren that will be suffering through hellfire inferno. You know what I mean? Like, and then hopefully by that point, technology will have advanced in some way that will allow us to, you know, I don't know, become mole people, live on Mars, whatever the F, you know, if they think they want to do in order to save humanity, right? But, I mean, it sounds metal, though. Yeah. Yeah, it does. I always remember there was this girl that I went to high school with, and she was, like, very religious. We went to performing arts high school, and her, like, you know, I'm not saying they were extreme, but she was very, like, you know, whatever. But again, I'm not, you know, I don't have any specific affiliations with anything. And so I just remember us sitting in the food court because we were working together after school on like a play that we were putting on for this like festival or whatever. And so we had rehearsal after school. And so I think we were grabbing lunch or whatever. And she was just sitting there. And I don't remember how the conversation came up. But this is when I was in like the 9th grade. So this was like what? A few decades ago. I don't know how. Grade 9. So I was like what, 13? Something like that. 13, 14 maybe. And so I don't remember. But I don't know if it was unprompted. We must have been talking about something. But I just remember her saying that the Bible states that humanity will end in like flames or some shit like that. Basically being like, you know, the world will end up in flames like Jesus said or whatever, right? And that just like, not in a way that like scared me, but it kind of always stuck with me. So then it kind of like makes me laugh in a way where like everyone keeps talking about, oh, everything's heating up and, you know, global warming and the climate crisis and whatever. And I was like, Jen said it would end in flames. Like, she did. If we can postpone the destruction of humanity before 50 years, maybe the next generation. Exactly. And you know, by that point, we might be enslaved to the robots anyway, and so we might wish for everything to go up in an inferno. You know what I mean? Is that a very pessimistic viewpoint of the world? Because that's the other thing too. So here's an we were supposed to talk about fairies and mythical random creatures and all this kind of stuff, but like what's gonna get us first? The heat or the robots? You know? Which one is closer to the ending of humanity? Because there's been some reports, there's been some shit, you know, and you're like, we're getting closer and closer to iRobot happening, baby. Absolutely. What about both? Yeah, flaming robots. Isn't that like Terminator? He was like fireproof or whatever, right? He was all, I'd be back, and he was like, you know, melting. I've never seen the Terminator films. I'm not sure. All I know is that he like rises from the depths of the lava or whatever, and he's still around. So yeah, simultaneous robot flame destruction. Yeah, I could see it. And then, you know, that's completely AI will get us first, probably. Yeah, that's the thought. I'm kind of leaning in that direction too, to be honest. I am. Are you still in audit hell, Kat? Or are you slowly emerging from your audit-induced hysteria? Terminator 1 and Demolition Man were so correct. Yeah. Yes, audit hell slowly come down. Boss told woman she has to come here for most of it, and the lady hasn't shown up yet. Really? Is the lady like the person in charge of the audit? I guess she wanted everything done like remotely, sent via email, and then your boss was like, nah, bitch, you gotta come here. That's kind of a power move, a little bit. Okay, dumb questions. Okay, lay it on me. I'm not necessarily gonna know the answer. So, yeah, she wanted some by email, and that was too much. Well, because the other thing, too, is you can't send, like, to send files, like, files can only be so large, so then you're sending it in a Google Doc, and you're, like, sending multiple emails, and it's, like, not the right stuff, and whatever. Yeah, it's something that, I guess, in the States, it's the IRS does with businesses, just to make sure that all of their financial checks and balances are in order. When the heat and robots take over, I will be ready. Excellent. Yeah. You will be like, what is it? Frozo? What, Mr. Freeze from the Batman? Different Terminator, different Schwarzenegger reference, you know? So you're going to, yeah. Oh yeah, someone who comes in and goes through all of our taxes or something in particular. Yeah, this was about non-tax items. We don't get taxed on machines and parts, so we have to pull everything we... Right, yeah. So you just want to make sure that you're not trying to, like, screw the system, essentially. Yeah. It's basically like, have you guys ever seen the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once? Jamie Lee Curtis is the audit lady in that movie. Economic check to the businesses. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, basically. Yeah, so right now, Kat is Michelle Yeoh in Everything Everywhere All at Once. That sounds like a job where you hear. Oh, I'm sure. But it's always one of those things, right, where, and this happens with a lot of, like, and this is obviously outside of business, because I think there are genuinely people, like, and you see all the time, there's always celebrities who get done in with, like, you know, tax fraud and IRS scamming and Ponzi scheming and all that nonsense, right? Like, that is a thing that constantly gets reported on. But then you have people like us that are just trying our damn best and really don't want to piss anyone off. And so, like, it then is so stressful when you just feel, I don't know, that this is the chronic people-pleasing anxious side of me, where I know I've done nothing wrong, but for some reason, it still feels like I'm gonna get in trouble for something. The way that these systems are organized. You're like, I'm gonna get done out for something I didn't even know I did, and it's gonna be chaos. You know? It's like, I don't know. You know? I yearn. Yeah, I know. You're like, get me out of here. Have you looked at all, Kat? Like, in even just like in your area, if like you could GTFO what that might look like? It's okay-ish. Yeah. No. Yeah. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. I thought it was wait till Chris graduates and then sort of go from there. I assumed that was still the plan, but I wasn't sure. Not gonna lie. Nah, I think they know. Yeah. You hope so. But it doesn't make the person having to submit the claim any less stressed out. You know? That I'm just going to retire. Yeah. Absolutely. That's the dream. Ooh. All right. Is this mushroom? I don't know. We'll make some more, and then if we decide that they're too small, I still feel like they need to be a little bit bigger. I don't know. I'm not sure. Hi, Shadow. Hello. He's like, bye, bitches. Running a business sounds scary. Honestly, I know, right? Not. Excuse me, sir. Yeah. Sometimes Shadow likes to go into the spare room or just on a bed in general. He'll go in our room sometimes too, and when he wants attention, he'll just bark. And you're like, bro, if you would like attention, you need to bring your fuzzy little butt over here. It's like me every time I take a drug test for work, did I actually take illegal drugs? Like, I would never break a rule in the audit. Yeah, exactly. I don't know why. Not much room to fit them, but yeah. No, it's true. It's true. I would absolutely be the same thing. Because then it's one of those things, right? Because isn't it they say, like, you're like, did I have an everything bagel in the last little while? Because isn't it poppy seeds will then show up on a drug test as, like, opioids or something like that? So then you're suddenly like, shit, like, maybe someone hid secret poppy seeds in, like, something? Yeah, no. That would stress me out. I'd be like, I'm pretty sure. I'm like, the only drugs I do are the ones prescribed to me by my doctor. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, really? You have to do a lot of poppy seeds? Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better. It can't be like rogue poppy seed infusion of something. That's okay then. It's like, right, yeah. Yeah, they used to do that, like, when they would, in my hometown. I'm sure they probably do this here, but I know in my hometown, especially because what would happen is people would go to, like, bush parties and drink, or drink at friends' houses, and then they would sometimes take the back roads, drive the back roads home, so sometimes there would be cop cars, like, they would be doing ride stops and stuff like that. It used to always piss me off, though, because there would be people on Facebook that would be like, by the way, ride stop here, avoid it, or whatever, and I'm like, no. The people who you are snitching on to be like, by the way, there's a ride stop, don't drive near there, absolutely should be the ones stopped at the ride stop. Do not give people an out if they legitimately need. So, I'm gonna start to run a business in a few years. It'll be something I want to do. Yeah. Get a good accountant. Yeah, definitely. Get business accountant to work you through and talk you through all the stuff. But yeah, so I remember that too, where that feeling of like you do a ride stop and you're like, absolutely, like, I have not been to but they're like, have you been drinking tonight? And you go, no. And you go, did that sound convincing? Was I convincing enough? Because I absolutely was not. But you just, I don't know, like, sometimes you just don't know if people are going to perceive, I guess, yeah, I don't know. It's like, I guess that's just an anxiety thing where you're just like, someone's going to see something in me and assume that I'm lying when I'm absolutely not. Though, obviously, if you haven't been drinking, if you take a breathalyzer test, I would assume that your blood alcohol level on the breathalyzer would be nothing. But, so it doesn't make it any less scary. Oh yeah, Pete, how's your training courses going, by the way? Because you've been doing all of your, like, paramedic stuff, right? Is that still happening? Is that still going well? I'm gonna try to parasol this a little bit better. Just try to get a little more of a fold here. I saw the other day, actually, I was driving, I forget where we were going, but one of the roads we drove down, I saw like a business accountant, like, I don't know, like an accounting firm near me that was doing all this stuff, and I was like, noted. Not that I have any plans to start any sort of, like, legitimate business in the near future, but if I did, I know where the business accountants are, or at least one of them. One of the business accounting firms. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna go with this as, once I finish attaching all of this, I think this will be our decided circumference of the mushroom cap so far. And then we'll go from there. Oh, it was so funny yesterday. I left the volunteering, did a lot of problems, went back went to a local uni to see about their paramedic course. Have another uni going to in October, and then planning to visit 2 other unis next year. Oh, amazing. Cool. That's all right then. A transitionary period. It's all good. That's good though. It sounds like you have a plan, which is always nice, you know? Even if even if plan A doesn't work out, to sort of have time to regroup and be like, okay, what are the next steps is really good. It was so funny. I took Shadow to the forest yesterday. I think we were both in need of some forest frolicking, if you will. And I've told you before how the people who maintain the grounds of these like forests and fields and meadows and stuff like that, they will mow pathways through the fields, but they'll leave a lot of like just wildness, wildflowers, wild grasses and stuff growing to whatchamacallit, for like the I don't know, for bugs, for like natural flora and fauna, whatever. Oh, did you post before and after? Oh, of Shadow's groom? Yeah, I did. I posted it I think I posted it in the pet section of Discord. I did. He looked like a whole new pup. You can't like super tell. You can tell in certain places. Like certain parts of his face or whatever, but his ears were down, so you can't really see a lot of it. But yeah, he was giving bombastic side-eye in one of the photos. I did. But yeah, so anyway, we were in the field, and Shadow was doing his thing, plotting along, and there were these two, like, I guess they were like sort of like black and gray spotted. They looked like mini poodles, like miniature poodles, right? And we've seen them before when they were training in like the sort of enclosed field area, but they were out, and at one point they decided they wanted to play with Shadow, right? So they go chasing after him. Looks for treat regime. He's so picky, and he never hangs out with me anymore on stream. He's in a completely different room. So it'd be very difficult for me to coax him over, especially when his besties are home. But we can try. Maybe when we can instill treat regime at some point. But yeah, homie's not around enough.
Hey, check your posture.
It's health check time, courtesy of Probacus. What was I saying? But yes, so these little miniature poodles go to chase after Shadow, and Shadow loves the tall grass, right? So he takes off into the tall grass, he's running around, and these little miniature poodles run into the tall grass, right? But the tree, or the grass is taller than these miniature poodles, right? So they run into the tall grass, and we can't see them. And so we can't see them, and they can't see Shadow because they're like surrounded by the tall grass. So every once in a while, Shadow's running around, and you know that these dogs are running, but you can't see them. And every once in a while, you see one of them jump. You see one of them jump up, and their ears go bloop, and they go, okay, where did he go? And they jump out, and they go back into the tall grass, and they run in that direction. Then they go, oh shit, where'd he go? Jump out of the tall grass. So I was killing myself laughing because these little pups have just run in to the fold, and they don't know where they're going, so they have to strategically jump, where Shadow's like, whatever, dude, I'm just doing this circuit. I was concerned at one point, though, because I think Shadow ran back near where these dogs were, and I was like, he needs to make sure he knows where these pups are, because I don't need them colliding with each other in the tall grass or anything. Oh, but it was the funniest thing ever. But yes, drink the tea, check the posture, do the stretch. It's the hour mark. Oh, okay, now I know. Every hour, do a health check. Treat reading for Tasha. Tasha self-regulates her treats. I self-regulate my treats. I have my Nature Valley granola bar for when it is snack time later in the stream. Yeah. Tasha self-regulates her treats. Do a bit of this just because the little floof isn't as floofy as I would like. Oop. think because I added this afterwards, it's like not as cohesive with the rest of the mushroom cap. So I'm just trying to make sure it's real solidly attached in there, you know? But yeah, today we are working on our needle felted mushrooms. Tomorrow we're going to cross stitch some mushrooms because obviously I drew up a little pattern for some keychain mushrooms yesterday. I'm hoping, because the pattern is quite simple, I'm hoping actually that I can probably do a larger piece of fabric and then sort of section off like 3 or 4 keychain areas, and then we can maybe stitch a whole bunch of them tomorrow. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm volunteering with a friend of mine this weekend. One of the medical charities that her son goes to. They're doing like a fundraising carnival event day thing, and so I'm going to be volunteering at a face painting booth with her. So me and her are gonna paint faces of the children's this weekend. I can't remember the last time I actually did face painting in any capacity, but I assume there will be like a booklet that the kids can choose what they want to do, so as we do not disappoint them. I'll have to remember, because the chronic people pleaser in me will be like, yeah, I can turn you into a dragon. It'll be like, she could not turn him into a dragon. So we will see. But I'm excited. I'm excited to go. I'm excited to do, I don't know, just to interact. I'm feeling a little bit more social lately, which is wild to me. I guess, I'm just feeling a little bit more motivated. So I'm like volunteering this weekend. Next weekend I'm having a craft day. The weekend after that I'm going shopping with a friend. Like, I'm just, it's wild. I'm actually is this what being in like a good mental headspace is like? Wow. I actually like want to be social and go out and see people. Interesting. Okay. First mushroom cap done. So if we do 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, I think 8 or 6. We will see. We'll see. But that's the first one. So we're gonna have a bunch of them, and then we're basically making a little fairy circle. And I think it would be cute, because I do think that, like, well, we'll see. Because I don't know if you guys know, if everyone's, are you into fairy lore? Are you guys up to date with the fairies and stuff? I feel like I used to be really into fairies. I'm not, I don't know, as much. Actually, my friend got me a fairy book. I've not looked at it in a while. It's a book. A Natural History of Fairies. Look at that. Look at that. I know about fairy circles. Yeah. And the fact that, like, you can make, usually what it is you're not supposed to step in a fairy circle, because if you do, then you're going to get transported to the fairy realm, and fairies are like little tricksters, right? You're also not supposed to tell a fairy your real name, I think. What else? You can leave offerings in the fairy circle. So you cannot step in the fairy circle, but you can leave offerings in the fairy circle for the fairy people. This one is not telling me about fairy circles. It's telling me all about the fairies, though. And the different types of fairies. Interesting. And where they like to hang out. Different fairies. Excuse me. Why are you a fairy book and you're not telling me anything about the mushrooms? Anyway, this is my fairy book. I'm gonna put this back in here for now. It's got very pretty illustrations, but obviously, as of right now, it has not told me. But yeah, so I was thinking, because I guess traditionally, when you come across a fairy circle, if you want, you can leave an offering for the fairies, for the fae, if you will. And so I was thinking this would be really, because I think this is large enough that if you wanted to almost use it as like like ring storage. Like you could probably put like a ring there, like a little jewelry storage, but like kind of not really, like a bit of a trinket box. But it also could be really cute if we needle felted like a little slice of cake, or like a little little muffin or something, like a little treat to stick in the fairy circle as an offering sort of thing. Been debating that as an option, but I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure if we want somebody to be able to put their own trinket in the fairy circle, or if we should make something to go in there. Cake would be adorable. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like a little piece of cake, a little sweet treat offering. Because that's the other thing too. Apparently fairies like sweets. They like cake. Hence why there's a type of cake called a fairy cake, which I'm pretty sure is just like a cake with sprinkles on it. I think it's just like a vanilla cake with sprinkles is called a fairy cake in certain places. Let me Google it actually. Fairy cake, fairy cakes. Yeah, it's basically just a cupcake. Yeah, it's just like a tiny cupcake with frosting and sprinkles. So we can do that. We can make a fairy cake to go in the center of our fairy ring. I think that would be cute. Like, speaking of offerings of food, why am I hungry already? Usually it's not until like 5 when I'm like, okay, it's time for snack time. We have to bust out the snackies early today. Oh, it's so annoying. So again, when we went to the forest yesterday, there were tons of more mushrooms, tons of new mushrooms in the forest than there normally is. I think it's getting to the point where the seasons are changing and shifting, and so we're getting different varieties popping up, which is super exciting. But the Seek app that I keep talking about that I'm obsessed with only was able to identify one, which is rude. I think the problem though is obviously the majority of mushrooms are like beige and clustered in nature, right? And so it's like the Seek app, you're staring at it from like a side profile, and it's like, I get that it probably could look like a million different types of mushroom species. I think the problem, like, because even within this book, you have to identify like the stem and what the gills look like and the color and like the texture and whatever. And so I do feel like it's a bit more difficult to have a good identification. And even the one that the app claims it identifies, I'm not entirely sure it's actually that. So I haven't officially marked it off on my book of like, we've seen this in real life yet, because I'm not entirely convinced it was accurate. But it's still exciting. I still got some cool photos. I don't know what kind of mushrooms they are. I have a general, because sometimes too it'll give me like sort of the rough order. The only thing is it doesn't save that information. It'll only save when you've identified a species. So luckily I remembered the name of the like order or the family, and so that could help me like narrow it down in this book a little bit. But again, I don't, they're like, yeah, it could be this, but also that also looks like 3 other different types of mushrooms, so also could be that. So I'm like, I'm not skilled enough in order to tell you one way or the other. So one day, that is the dream. I did find, though, some of the ones that I already have identified. So the Dead Man's Fingers, which I think are so fun. They're so cool. The only problem is there are some really cool looking mushrooms, but I feel like they look very phallic in nature. So to needle felt them, I worry about them not looking as much like mushrooms as I want them to, which could then have them being misconstrued. So, because I did think it would be fun to do like a cluster of Dead Man's Fingers. They are very strange, aren't they? But yeah, I would be concerned about how phallic the depiction of them might look. There's one mushroom that is like even more, I can't remember what it's called, so it's gonna take me a minute to find it, but like it basically, I'm like, I don't think I could in good conscience ever needle felt this, because I think it would be a problem. Which one is it? This guy, the Stinkhorn. Like, I could, but tell me that no, I don't think I could. Like, look. We can't needle felt that in good conscience. I mean, we could, but like, I don't know, man. I feel like my needle felting skills. Did a woman name that a Stinkhorn? I don't know. The immature stage is called the Witch's Egg. I don't know, man. Yeah. Apparently it smells like bad drains and attracts flies. I don't know. It doesn't say. But, okay, no, obviously. So the actual name of it, so it's called a Stinkhorn, and it's what is it? What's the scientific, the Latin name, the actual name is called Phallus impudicus. It literally says phallus in the name. Again, I need to get much better at my needle felting skills in order for that to actually look like a mushroom if we plan to do that. So, yeah, nope. Stinkhorns, no. We don't trust. At least, well, I don't know, because I feel like at least Dead Man's Fingers, you can cluster them in a way that makes them look a little bit less phallic and look, again, more finger-like. That's not looking like a finger in any shape of the word.
Remember all the happy times we had?
Fresh drink. Yeah, well, that's the thing. They said it looks all right. Let me see. That's cool, though. Yeah, with the cage, that's kind of cool. See, that's a way to make it less so. But I don't know, again. I need to get better at needle felting in order for that to do it justice. But once that disappears... Though, I don't know. It could be done. This one looks not bad. That one looks not bad. I think maybe we'll build up to it. I like that though. I do think that looks really cool. This one's not giving as much of a dome as the other one did. I think I need to work on that a little bit. Let's see how many of these we get done today. I think this guy probably all in all, because we worked on him on stream for what? That was 3 hours, and then I think I probably put another 3 or 4 hours into him yesterday. So I feel like about 6 hours, so like a day to do one item, which honestly isn't bad. That's like a 1-day build sort of thing, broken up into a couple parts. That's more time, less time than a cross stitch or a beaded bracelet, that's for sure. Now the thing too is, like, obviously all of the mushrooms don't have to look 100% uniform. They obviously have to have a similar look to them in some capacity, just because they're meant to all be the same mushroom. But I feel like, you know, they come in different sizes. They're in different levels of like disrepair if somebody like schmucked one or whatever. Although I do think that this guy is a bit, he's not dense enough. This one almost kind of gives like summer straw hat vibes a little bit. So, are you snoozing? You having a rest? That's fine. We're listening to chill piano. I wouldn't be surprised if this made everyone fall asleep, but like in the best way, in like a nice, calm, soothing way. That's what we're hoping for. Nice, calm, soothing vibes, please. Coming together a little better. A little bit. Maybe. Switch the phone. FYI, it's a Sony Xperia 10 Ivy, or 10 whatever, yeah. Okay, cool. Actually, I don't know. I assume that's well, it's an Android, right? I guess there's only 2 options. But yeah, cool. Every once in a while I get really tempted to just like go back to a brick. But then I don't remember anyone's numbers, so that would be a problem. And also, a lot of people here, they all use WhatsApp, and so WhatsApp is an app, so you need, like, you know, a data connection or whatever, so you can't do the brick phone route. I guess you would just have to be like, guys, we're texting now. Like, I'm doing, what is it? They call it a dumb phone instead of a smartphone. But then I wouldn't be able to play Best Fiends all the time. That's honestly, aside from like scroll through, yeah, foldy phones are nice. Dumb phones are great. Yeah. Because of battery life. Yeah, exactly. I think there was one, I can't remember what it was. Liam was watching something where they had like a dumb phone, but it still had something. So it was like a dumb phone, but it still had like a maps option. So you still had access to like Google Maps or something. So one of those where it was more just like, it was like a strategically dumb phone. So it would be like, okay, no apps, no this, but like give you options or whatever. But I've already been, it's really hard actually. To be fair, I have broken this rule I've made for myself twice this week. Because I went through a phase where I was doing really well, where I was not checking social media until after I got back from walking shadow. Because what would happen is I would wake up and then I'd instantly open apps from my bed and then spend an hour in bed scrolling and then have already like used up my usage. And then in the evening, because I'm trying to set like an hour at a time, I'd be like snoozing it to be like, nah, whatever, it's fine. I still do that, but I'm like, I still do the, you know, I end up snoozing it a lot more. But I'm trying to be more conscious about it. But the last, I don't know, there were 2 days where I was like, ah, fuck it, I'm gonna go. And to be fair, this one it was. I checked it very quickly to get my dopamine hit from my likes, because it is a dopamine thing. I think it definitely is like, oh, I posted a thing, I want to see how many people liked it or whatever. That is a narcissistic dopamine hit machine. But then afterwards I was able to, you know, still get my shit together, but I'm trying really hard to not do that. And then the fact that it's difficult for me makes me realize how much of a problem it is. Because it's like, oh, I'm just going to do this thing. And because I literally like will look at my phone, I check dumb stuff now. I'm like, okay, let me check the emails. I check the weather like multiple times a day, which is silly because it's like, just look outside. I don't know. Like I find I check constantly. I've checked the weather like at least 3-4 times a day. And I'm like, why? I don't know why. And then, yeah, just like checking my emails, checking like any other app to get that, like, I don't know, to scratch that itch without actually going to social media. And I'm like, that is not healthy. That is a problem. So trying to fix that. But I broke my own rule that I'm giving myself. To be fair, I should probably take Facebook off my phone again, because I had it off my phone and then I was like, oh, I want to post pictures from like the wedding reception for like my family, and I don't want to post it on Instagram and cross post or whatever, so I'll do that. Never even ended up doing it, so I can probably get rid of that now. But I don't know. Again, guys, it's the dopamine hit of people liking your stuff. It is addictive for a reason. That guy's domed. We can dome him a little bit more. This guy's a lot more dense than this one. Don't know if that matters. I think we'll add a little bit more to it just to give it a bit more density, I think. Not too shabby.
Hey, check your posture.
Listen. Oh, craft gremlin mode. It's difficult. It's difficult. Shrimp tash. It's true. It's true. It's a shrimp mode. Absolutely. Difficult but necessary. Yeah, I know. I've always had really shit posture. I'm trying to be better. Like, yeah, even when I'm walking shadow, I have to like, okay, shoulders back, do the thing. It's because I have no core muscles, or very few core muscles. Because I'm sure if I had no core muscles, I would just like flop in half, right? So obviously there is some core there, but it's not very strong. They're lazy, but you can empower them easily. Yeah, I guess so, yeah. I know. You have to activate them. I guess it's one of those things, because I know it's like with anything, right? The more you do it, the easier it is. In essence, ever, yeah. Yeah, well, yeah. Just because I'm aware, but it doesn't mean I'm gonna do it. I do have stretches and stuff that I do. I try to do every day. I don't know, man. We're just like, I don't know. We're just like, what? Isn't it? We're like 80% water. We're just like, I don't know, gelatinous beings just kind of existing in the world trying our best. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm trying to take care of my teeth. I'm trying to take care of my brain. I'm trying to take care of my body. I'm trying to take care of my insides. Like, there's a lot of components, right? So, like, God forbid I neglect to work out my core muscles every day. We're all just trying our best. Okay. 2 little mushroom caps. This one's a little bit smaller than this one, but that doesn't matter. They're allowed to not be 100% uniform. You need to push for someone to keep excited. Yeah. Yeah. I do. I think there's things, I do have things in place for a lot of stuff, but then yeah, for other things. I think I also just like standing desks. Yeah, that is an option. Though I don't know, I think the standing desk might be too big for this hallway area. But yeah, I know Liam has been looking into the standing desks, the sit-stand desks. Definitely. I think they're awesome. I think they're a really good idea. Yeah, Liam's chair. No, Liam's chair is actually super floppy. And he, like, Liam does not ever, I don't think I've ever seen him exercise proper posture in that gaming chair. Not at all. If anything, this chair is better. His office is undergoing renovations right now, so they got rid of a bunch of stuff. So I got a new chair over there for my computer, and it's meant to be like all ergonomic and stuff. But the problem is, it doesn't really go up and down, and so yeah, it's ergonomic, but my feet dangle off the side. So I need to be fair, I do the same thing with this. If I want to have proper posture in relation to this desk, I need to raise the chair, and so that's why I use my floss boxes, like all my cross-stitching thread boxes, as a footstool, so that I'm able to have the proper, like, 90-degree alignment or whatever. Yeah. That's true. I don't think I've ever crafted standing up. Now that I think about it. Like, it seems like it's like a random thing, but I'm like, no, I've never actually crafted standing up before. I guess because I've never had a surface with which to do that. But the only thing I've done, I guess, because I've had to iron when I was making the dress, and so I was standing for the ironing and things, but everything else. And for the cutting. So there was a bit, actually, I feel like, honestly, working on that dress that we made, that was like a full body workout. There was a lot of up and down and sitting and standing, which I think was probably a good thing. It was probably a good thing that I needed to utilize the entire dining room table for that process. I do want to make another one. Oh, really? Yeah, to be fair, my mother-in-law has, like a bicycle, like, you know what I mean? Like a wheels? I don't want to say pedals. That's the word I'm looking for. She has pedals under her desk, so then she can do, like, bikey exercises while she's sitting down at her desk. He's risen the table up with bricks. Really? That seems safe. It just works. Yeah, hey man, do what you must. Do what you gotta do. I do think it's, because isn't it anytime, like, I don't know, anytime you, like, watch videos or talk to people and whatever, it's like, there is no, like, the diagnosis, I guess, is always balance, right? Where it's like, yes, you can sit, yes, you can stand, but, like, yes, you can twist yourself into a pretzel, whatever. The problem is when you do it a lot over a long period of time, right? And not taking the breaks to stretch and not taking the breaks to move around and whatever, that's when it becomes a problem. As long as you're, like, moving and grooving while also doing those things. It's all about balance. But I'm sure, too, that's the thing, though. Like, working in a field obviously does train your muscles, but you also have to make sure that you're doing it correctly, right? So I'm sure there's a lot of people, like, if you're lifting, you know, big bales of whatever, or bending over to pick vegetables or fruit or whatever, like, you have to make sure you, like, hinge at the waist, bend at the knees. Like, there's ergonomic ways to do those things. So sometimes, yeah, like, if you're lifting heavy shit, you will, yeah, exactly. So sometimes it's like, yeah, okay, cool, you have muscles, but you've worked some muscle groups and not other muscles to support the muscles that you are building strength in, and then that's how people get injured. So moral of the story, don't do manual labor. Just kidding. It's do manual labor correctly. You need to squat, yeah. But then even too, I think, like, perpetual, like, squatting, I guess if you squat properly, yes, but a lot of people, I think, then end up with, like, knee issues and stuff like that, right? Like, there's always, anytime you are overworking a particular joint or muscle group, like, there's bound to be issues along the line, so you need to, yeah, exactly, doing manual or correctly, so exactly, right? Like, you're trying to, Yeah, isn't that interesting how taking care of yourself, both mentally and physically, seems to actually be detrimental to a capitalistic bottom line? Interesting, eh? How interesting. You don't need to be your ideal weight, yeah. Well, yeah, there's certain, you have to be of a certain physicality in order to do certain demanding movements. You also have to have a good center of balance, you know what I mean? Like, I think if somebody was missing a toe, they probably couldn't squat very well. Or if they had a lot of ear infections and internal ear issues, that makes you really dizzy. And then you're not able to control your balance as much, you know what I mean? Because squatting requires a certain level of balance, you know? Masher, hello! Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I hope you're having a fabulous Thursday. So you'll never be out for long. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. Like, that's the thing, right? As long as, again, life is about balance. It's all about balance. Sometimes it is easier to achieve and maintain the balance than other times. That's all we're doing. All we're doing is trying to maintain the balance in our lives. Between life, work, responsibilities, health, pleasure, this and that. Yeah. Not doing too great, honestly, just in for the cozy vibes of good feels. Honestly, man, sometimes that's all we need. Yeah. Things can be not good, and so sometimes you need a distraction away from the bullshit and the nonsense. And so if we can provide the cozy vibes, good feels, we will do our best. We will do our best. Nice aesthetic. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. I always forgot the name of my overlay. But I did. I ordered this overlay, the mushrooms and things from Etsy. I always forget the artist's name because I'm a terrible person. And then I added like the tea elements myself in Canva. What is the name of this person that I bought my overlay from? I don't remember. Kiki Design Studios. That's the one. Kiki Design Studios. That's where I got the overlay from. They make a lot of really cute stuff. They do, they do. Some lizards. Amazing. Love it. Is the lizard like slapping his tummy? He looks so content. I love that. I love that for that lizard. I love that for that lizard. We are making some mushrooms. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. You are lucky number 334. We've officially surpassed our angel number, which I said was actually, see, I didn't know, I didn't realize that 333 was an angel number and then 666 was the devil's number. So when we hit 333, I was like, cool, halfway to the devil number. Then my friend was like, you realize that this number came first. I was like, I don't know. Didn't know that. Just shows you how much of an impact. What was it? Who sings that song? 666, the number of the beat. Is that Iron Maiden? Iron Maiden or AC/DC? I don't know. All we know is that like 70s classic rock obviously shaped my interpretation of these numbers. And I have a better understanding of that number versus the other number. No one's writing hard rock metal songs about the number 333. It seems. I would like to know. Probably a Christian rock band. I'm sure there's Christian heavy metal bands. There must be. I feel like, you know, there must be. But none that have graced these ear holes. I feel like this is a nice size, but everything is very thin, so we gotta add more. I don't know. Yeah, me neither. Can I interest you in some Bozuki? Or maybe some apricots? I feel like I've not had an apricot in a really long time. I like an apricot. They're great this year. I don't know what a bozuki is. I know what bazooka is. That's a type of bubble gum. I know it's also another thing, but it's also a type of bubble gum. Yeah? The apricots are great this year. Excellent. Good to know. Hot agriculture tip, guys. The Greek apricots are chef's kiss. Bouzouki is a string musical instrument. Ooh, that's nice. I think my mom was thinking about doing. Oh, really? Oh, amazing. That's awesome. Is your mom into crafting or mushrooms or cozy vibes or all of the things? That's nice. Can you play the bouzouki, Probacus? And also, am I pronouncing it correctly? Do you play the magical string instrument in which you speak of? No, I can't. Well, you better learn. Just kidding. I'm not gonna tell you what to do. I don't live your, you know, don't, yeah. I'm not gonna tell you to live your life. Yeah. I tried to learn it when I was in your pup didn't click. That's fair. That's fair. It doesn't always. I respect that. Yes, ma'am. No, I'm not gonna tell you. Some colleagues of a former job of mine also did needle fuzzing. My mom was an overall creative person. Oh, very cool. More into very fine or detailed crochet. Oh, that's wild. See, I've never crocheted. I've never done crochet. I did knit. I knit my dog a snood as part of our craft kit series at the beginning of the year. Yeah, I got a kit that was knit your dog a snood. So I did that. That was my one and only foray into knitting, but have not yet forayed into crochet. I was gonna say I know so many crocheters. I am aware of a few crocheters in my life. I know my sister-in-law's brother crochets. My mother-in-law actually crocheted at one point, but I think she was learning, so. I think I told, yes, you did, yeah. See, but then that instills some sort of a bias, Probacus. I don't want you to feel the need to listen to me because I resemble a person of authority in your formal life. That puts a lot of pressure on me. But, you know, if all I'm doing is demanding that you learn a musical instrument, I feel like that's not bad. I feel like that's pretty nice of me. I could be demanding and requesting much more not good things from you, you know? I just want you to try your best and live a happy, healthy life. That's all I want from you. Do that. Like money, yeah. Yeah, I'm not trying to extort you. Absolutely. My mom made flower brooches. Oh, cool. For my parents. I mean, when they were celebrating. Oh, that's cute. Also, my mom has Hecky, but really? Oh, Probacus, thank you so much. No! I appreciate that you've done that, but I hope that, yeah. It was a joke, but I appreciate you. Yeah. They have really bad hay fever. That's cool though, that then, yeah. If you cannot experience the real flowers because they're gonna make your nose drip and your eyes run and the sneezes happen, best to have flowery, like best to have homemade artsy ones, you know? Absolutely. Let's drink the tea. Cheers. Thank you for that. It's probably cold by now, but that's okay. It's still good. Everyone hydrate. But yes, I appreciate the sub, Probacus. I appreciate you very much. Very much. Easier to swallow. Yeah. If it's cold. Yeah, that's true. That's true. There's some people, because I don't usually put milk in my tea, so when it's cold, like it's fine to me. It's kind of like an iced tea. But some people I think have milk in their tea, and then if it gets cold, which is weird because to me milk is cold, but whatever. I don't know. It goes off. It tastes funky. It's interesting. Thank you. Nice nail art. Yeah, we actually did them on stream. They're hella chipped right now. But yeah, these guys are still holding strong, but we actually made these nail decals on stream the other day. So I have a silicone nail mat, and so I like painted on the silicone nail mat, covered that with a quick drying top coat, peeled them off the nail mat, and then we stuck them on our nails. Which honestly, I didn't even know if it was gonna work out. I had seen people do it, I have heard about it, but I had never attempted. So we attempted in real time, and it actually worked, and it kind of blew my brain. Blew my tiny little brain. But yeah. So that was a fun day. That was a fun stream. It was good. It was good. By the way, I think I made your posture aware. I've not shrimped that much. I can feel myself slouching a little bit, but yes. I'm trying to engage my core. The nail is very cute and fitting. Yes, exactly. Yeah, I think we are. I'm slowly I don't know, succumbing to the aesthetic. I don't know. I always find that like I'm not always the best at being aesthetic. You know, I pick an aesthetic and then I'm like, oh, okay, I do other things, which is fine. We're not a monolith. I'm allowed to do whatever I want, sort of thing. But I do find for this channel, I am sort of just like devolving into the Mushroom and Studio Ghibli girl, and honestly, I'm not mad about it. I'm like, if all we do is like forest core, it's like forest core and Miyazaki core. I don't think that's a thing, but I feel like it should be. I'm sure somebody, I feel like Miyazaki core is kind of just like cottage core in a way, but you know. Probacus, that was very sweet of you. Thank you very much for that. That's very nice. Yeah. Thank you for helping me hit the sub goal. I appreciate you very much. That was very kind of you. Very nice. Yeah. I think it's very pretty. Thank you. Thank you very much. But yes, so we are currently needle felting. The goal is to make a fairy circle. So we're gonna probably do, I think 8. We'll see how many fit on here. I'm thinking probably 8. Hopefully it's less, because that means we have to do less. And then we're gonna do the same thing we did with this, where we're gonna cover it with this like fake grass. Because I started making this on Tuesday, and I said I was gonna finish it on stream Thursday, but I got really excited and then did it the other day. So we're gonna hopefully make more of these, which is super exciting, because they're not gonna take very, hopefully, the goal is not to take very long, because the dream, my dream if you will, is to actually sell things at like a craft stall, like an art stall or whatever. But I don't have anything to sell right now, because everything I make takes 1,000,000 years. And so I have 3 items, and 3 items does not make a craft stall, guys. It does not. So I'm trying to find things that are cute and awesome and that I love that aren't going to take 1,000,000 years to make. And I think I may have found it. So yeah. So I was lurking. Yeah, doesn't matter. I appreciate you being around, whether it's in chatty chat mode or lurky lurk mode. You guys know I love my lurkers. They make me feel better. Oh, amazing. I'm so glad. I'm so glad we can offer sweet chill vibes to help distract from the bullshit of life. So thank you. Yeah, exactly. That's amazing. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It's one of those where I've been in the pre-contemplative stage of it for a while. It's always been like, that would be really cool to do. And I've never actually put the time and effort into doing it, but we're trying. We are moving that way. I've set the goal for a Christmas market because I wanted to give myself the whole year to like think and scheme and do stuff. It's now like the middle of the year. So who knows, but we're working our way. We're working our way through it. Don't know. You are a cool dude though. Probacus is cool. Probacus is legit. He's a pretty chill dude. We appreciate him. Can I have the last word of your name here for a bit? What? But yeah, you. Yeah, right? Yeah, borrow the cold. Borrow the cold, right? Yeah, honestly, Masha, if you could send some cold Pro Bacchus's way so he can, you know, chill out. Yeah. I got it. Yeah. Send some cold. Not sure I can help. Yeah. Send that sweet, sweet cool breeze. Oh no, oy vey. It's alright. As long as you have your fans and your AC, for Bacchus, we don't need you melting into a puddle. No melting into a puddle. We will have no puddle melting on my watch. There was an episode, did you guys ever watch Recess? You know, the animated show on Disney about all the 5th grade kids, TJ Detweiler, Gretchen and Mikey and Gus and all of them, the gang. Do you guys remember this? It's probably some of it, yeah. So there was an episode of Recess where it was like the hottest day out and everyone's like, oh my god, it's so hot. And Gus, who's like the little guy with the glasses, Spinelli's your fave? Oh yeah, Spinelli's the goat, absolutely. And so everyone's like, Gus, like, why aren't you dying in this heat like everyone else? And he's like, oh, I just think of like a cold memory from my past, and then it helps keep me cool. So whether or not that's real life. So for Bacchus, you can imagine eating an ice cream cone and maybe that'll keep you cool. But the whole thing is Gus then tells a story because I think his dad's in the army. So he was like an army kid who moved around a lot. And so there was one mission where they were placed in like, I don't know, somewhere where there's tons of snow. I don't know if it was Antarctica, it could have been Canada, who knows. And there's like a scene where Gus is like going, I don't know if he's getting chased or he's skiing or snowmobiling on a mountain or whatever. And it was like this crazy big adventurous day that he had. And so that's what was keeping him cool. Because he was just remembering the time in the snowy mountains with his dad. Fighting crime or whatever it was he was doing. Yeah. Firstly, Emily yogurt. That's fine. Frozen yogurt's legit. Frozen yogurt is a nice alternative. Oh, I'm so excited. Actually, speaking of ice cream. So I have celiac disease, so I'm gluten-free, so I can't have gluten, right? And pre-diagnosis, one of my favorite ice creams was cookie dough ice cream. And obviously, you can't be having cookie dough ice cream when you got celiac because cookie dough denotes that there is wheat in the dough, and so I cannot consume that. Well, didn't I find a gluten-free cookie dough ice cream when I was online grocery shopping today? So that is coming tomorrow. It's coming tomorrow evening though, so next week I will have review of gluten-free cookie dough ice cream. I'm very excited. Especially chocolate chip cookie dough. That was because I used to go to Dairy Queen in Canada, because that's where I'm from. And so, yay! Yeah, honestly, when I came across this, I was like, excuse me? Really? Well, I can't not. I have to. So yeah, it'd be very exciting. But yeah, so I used to always get, before I would get like, you know, because I don't know if you guys know about Dairy Queen. You have a gluten-free aunt? Yeah! Yeah, it's honestly, I think more and more people are getting awareness about what that means. And so more people are getting tested or realizing, even if it's not celiac, it's either like low FODMAP diet or like different things in order to be their healthy, happy selves. So that's awesome. Cool to hear. But yeah, so at Dairy Queen. So Dairy Queen, I'm pretty sure it's a Canadian specific ice cream chain from what I realize. I know they don't have them here. I don't know if they have them in the States. Dairy Queen. Oh, it's an American chain. Dodoy. Okay, cool. Never mind. Based out of Minnesota. United States. Okay, cool. So it actually, yeah. So Dairy Queen. But yes, Dairy Queen in Canada. I used to always get cookie dough blizzards. But, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Turns out, been American this whole time. Pardon my Canadian ignorance. I always do that with musical artists. Liam will be like, I found a new artist, and I'll be like, they're Canadian. But then sometimes, I think one time they weren't, and I was like, damn it. Here I am just like claiming things, being like, by the way, did you know? But yeah. I've known about her on my, oh, that's cool. You know, Mr. Often though, yeah. That's cool though. That's interesting though that she's, because that's one of the things that I think different countries and different places were a bit more like ahead of the curve in terms of like diagnosis and understanding that like some people do need to eat gluten-free. I think the biggest thing though, at least for me, because I was diagnosed when I was in the 7th grade. And so, what is it? But yeah, when I was in the 7th grade, so I'm trying to think how old I was, like 11 or something like that. And the options for gluten-free in my hometown in Canada were garbage. They're really lame. But luckily now, like, it's so much more improved. I also find too that the gluten-free options in the UK are a lot better than the gluten-free options in Canada for some things. Other things, like getting me some gluten-free pierogies, which I haven't been able to find here because it's difficult to find just pierogies in general. But yeah, much better than it was. But yeah, chocolate chip cookie dough Blizzard from Dairy Queen was the OG, and then got celiac disease. And so what I used to do is have, which somebody informed me, I think a manager at Dairy Queen referred to it as a Jack and Jill. So it was a sundae, half hot fudge, half marshmallow. And then they discontinued their marshmallow, and I was like, excuse me, that was the best part. So, yeah. I'm a big proponent of, like, marshmallow, tasty flavored things. I actually picked up, there's, like, an international section in the grocery store. So the other day when I was in there, I picked up jumbo marshmallows. So I've been making, like, microwave s'mores every night for a little sweet treat after dinner. So, but we don't, again, graham crackers aren't a thing here, let alone gluten-free graham crackers. So I've just had like Oaty biscuits, so like digestive biscuits. So put a biscuit, put a bit of chocolate, put it in the microwave. Put the marshmallow on top, stick it in the microwave for like 15 seconds. The marshmallow expands, then you stick a cookie on it, smush it. Excellent. Your go-to stream buddy is very cute. Oh, amazing. I'm glad you love it. Yes, that is Phantasmo. I actually have a plushie low-key stream mascot. Her name is Phantasma, but she's downstairs. Actually, Needle felted a baby version of her. So this is, imagine this, but bigger and wearing a party hat, because she was wearing a party hat when we celebrated. I can't remember what we're celebrating. I think it was 300. I can't remember. It must have been 300 followers or something. We did something. No, it was a stream anniversary. It was our 1-year stream anniversary back in February, I think. So she had a party hat on. But yeah, so this is, yes. So that's the other thing that I love. I love mushroom, forest core, cozy, tree, woodland, fairy realness, but I also love Halloween. But not like in a horror way. I'm not a big like horror movie person. I've never been a horror movie. I'm like more like the cute, spooky side of things. Hence like cute little ghosty boy. Yeah, I love cute ghosts. I think that's my bread and butter. I'm on the hunt, guys, this year. I'm on the hunt. TK Maxx has started releasing their Halloween stuff, and I'm on the lookout for a specific ghost candle. Let me actually Google it. So it's a giant candle, which I thought it was a vase, because I've explained this before, how TK Maxx ghost candle. How we don't get flowers often. Like, I don't get flowers often, but when I do, we don't actually have a flower vase in the house, so we just use giant beer steins. Liam has a couple of beer steins, and so those are our flower vases. So I've been trying to look for like a cute flower vase, and then I came across this picture, or this ghost, and I was like, oh my god, it's a vase. And then I was like, but it's a candle, and I have so many candles, so I'm not gonna buy it. And then my partner Liam was like, well, why didn't you buy the item and then just melt the shit out of the candle and then use the container as a vase? And I was like, duh, obviously I should have done that. But then, of course, when I went back to TK Maxx, it was like the end of the sort of time, because in October, most of the Halloween stuff is gone, and TK Maxx makes room for Christmas, which is sacrilegious in my brain, but it's fine. And so yeah, so this is the thing. It's on eBay right now, but because usually what happens is like TK Maxx will kind of cycle in their same stuff over and over again. So it's a massive. It's not huge, but it's enough for it to be a vase. So that is what I am hoping to find during my multiple spooky hauls. I'm the same with Halloween. Yeah. I want to be an undead VTuber. Oh, that's cute. I like that. Yeah. Yeah, because I bet, is it happening, because you guys have I guess it's TJ Maxx there, but like TJ Maxx and like HomeSense and stuff are starting to get their Halloween stuff. Even if, you know what it is, Kat, even if you can't go and buy anything, sometimes it's just awesome to just go to look for the serotonin dump, you know what I mean? But sometimes if, that can be painful sometimes as well. Yeah, that would be cool, an undead VTuber. Because I've seen a few different VTubers, but they usually take, like, I don't know why. I've never thought about them outside of, like, yeah, like outside of to have a theme. You know what I mean? Like a themed VTuber. But I think that's amazing. That's a really cool idea. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I'm sure there are, like, vampire VTubers, zombie VTubers. I know there's, like, animal VTubers, aren't there? That would be really cool. I like that idea. I use it as house decor all year round. Yeah! Honestly, though, some of them, yes. I think I did that. I found there's a lamp that I have in the spare room that was, like, for Halloween. But it's just, like, a cute little moon with fairy lights. And I'm like, that's an all year round thing. Two of our, we have those, like, floor mats that you come in from outside and, like, scrape your boots off and stuff. Halloween themed. Those are up all year round. Absolutely. Because a lot of times, too, there's, like, different themes. And, like, if you're into, like, astrology and celestial and, like, mystical stuff, there always seems to be that sort of stuff around Halloween as well. Or, like, if you're into skeletons, if you're into, like, skulls, people will be into skulls all year round. You know what I mean? That's the one, though, I think in terms of, like, Halloween iconography or, like, most popular Halloween characters and things, to me it's ghosts, cute ghosts, then it's bats, then maybe spiders, and then, like, skulls is at the bottom for me. There's, like, a couple, like, cute skeletons. Like, Liam 3D printed this, like, little dangly skeleton boy, and I think he's super cute, but usually my default would be, like, ghosts and bats over skeletons in terms of, like, stuff. Things with those things on them, or pumpkins and things. Yeah, a lot of undead VTubers with specific undead types, like vampires and zombies most often. The one lich under my... Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. That totally makes sense to me, though. Especially if you're, like, embodying sort of, like, a character. That's really interesting. You just opened up my worldview about... I love that. I like learning about different communities and different stuff. So today I learned that there are themed VTubers. I like that a lot. And I think you should do that. I think that would be really fun. Cute. I actually like that this one's a little bit bigger. Though it is a little bit see-through. So we're gonna add a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Just to... So we don't want them to be translucent. I feel like there probably are mushrooms that are a little bit more on the translucent side, but not these ones. I'm over an unspecified type of undead. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. That kind of makes sense. I feel like that way too, because there's different ways to be dead. Like, that sounds really dumb, but like, there's obviously different ways to represent that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. I was saying, like, it makes sense because there's a lot of different ways that you could... It sounds silly, but, like, there's a lot of different ways you could be dead. You know what I mean? And so I think, yeah, not specifying then gives you the option to explore that in a more unique way that's specific to you. Because I think that's sometimes the difficult part is you want to, like, pigeonhole yourself in, like, oh, I'm gonna do this thing. And then you're kind of like, well, now I feel like I need to... Like, if you were going to go, like, the vampire route specifically, right? It's like, that comes with a whole specific aesthetic. And I'm sure, like, this to me is similar to, like, when people try to describe different types of metal music to me. And I know that there are so many different types of metal music and subgenres and, like, sub-subgenres. And so I assume that the vampire community is not a monolith. So there's probably different variations and different sub-genres of vampire. But that still is, like... that comes with a specific set of lore and a specific set of mannerisms and aesthetics and things like that. Whereas if you are like, oh, I'm going to be unspecified, unspecific, undetermined, then I think, yeah, that opens you up to more options in terms of what you can do and, like, can mold, you know? Yeah. Because you're like, maybe you want to be, like, ghostly undead. Do you know what I mean? That would be cool, actually. Are there any ghost VTubers? There must be. There must be ghost VTubers. I like that. Like, haunted Victorian lady VTubers. I want. No thanks, I want to be myself. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yes, you want it to represent you and your aesthetics. 100%. Absolutely. Not that I know of. Damn. I like that. I want. Now I'm like, is there... I want that. If not, I want to manifest that. Not for myself, but, like, for someone else. I'm like, I would like Victorian ghost VTuber, please. And only plays, not like this is pigeonholing, but, like, only plays, like, those little spooky point-and-click adventure games. That would be fun.
It's tea time.
Oh, is it another health check? It's the top of the hour. It's Probactus's top of the hour health check. Everyone, do some stretching. Everyone needs to stretch. Everyone needs to have some tea or other hydrating beverage of your choice. Ugh. We are. And also check your posture. I go to J Fashion. Oh, yes. I think Lolita Fashion's really cool. I'm not, like, as into it as I used to be, but I went through a phase where I think they're beautiful and they're fascinating. I think they're impractical for my lifestyle, I guess. But I just think they're gorgeous, and I love the fact that they're themed. I one time went to an event. I went to this thing. It was called the Atomic Lollipop Festival. It was kind of like a convention, but there was kind of other stuff going on. It's because I saw my favorite Canadian cartoon duo, Prozac, do a reunion tour, and they performed there. But there was, like, a Lolita talk there, and there were a bunch of people dressed up in Lolita fashion, and so the difference between, like, Sweet Lolita, Dark Lolita, and, like, the different dress brands and stuff. And I think this one person, they were wearing an outfit that was very, like, nautical themed, and then the purse they had was, like, a ship steering wheel or something like that. And you know what it is? I love a theme. Like, I freaking love a theme. A themed party, a themed outfit, a themed whatever, right? And so to have a whole outfit, yeah, that is like the dress pattern, the headpiece, the gloves, the bag, like all of that, I just respect. Eat that shit up. I'm like, that's awesome. I think that's so clever and cool. Yeah. Mm-hmm. See, again, knock on wood. We've not drawn any blood in these streams yet. I have minorly stabbed myself today, twice, but minorly, which is pretty good. There's a dog called, is it Ki or Kai Lolita? It's described as like a devil-inspired calm. Okay. Chinese seams prints. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, cool. That sounds really pretty. Oh, and then you know then there must be like a Chinese lantern purse. Even not from even not in like Lolita vibes, even just in general. I'm sure that exists, and then that would be really cool. Okay, so right now we got we got 3. Okay. So would that be the sort of like aesthetic you would want to do then if you decided to do the VTuber route? We're probably gonna have to blend some more wool in a minute, but I think we can get another one out of this. Yeah, I want to. Oh, cool. See, that's the thing. I always say that my aesthetic is like cozy forest core. Because I want to be, you know, out adventuring in the forest, looking at cool mushrooms and trees and stuff like that. But I want to be comfy while I'm doing that. So, yeah, I like that. Comfy streetwear. That's cool. That would be interesting too, because I do feel like Lolita dressing, at least from like what I have seen, is quite structured, and it's like, because it's like petticoats and layers and lots of lots of stuff. So to do a streetwear spin would be really interesting to see what that would look like. I really think that's cool. Very interesting. It would. I think so. I think so. Yeah. Right, yeah. Sounds like you have a game plan, which is awesome. No, fair enough, fair enough. Well, the first step is the idea. The first step is the idea. Hello, sir. Are you on high alert? Yep. Okay, based on this, it might only be 6. Might only be 6 mushrooms. Because this will be 4, and then I think 5, 6, which is fine. Which is all good. I guess I could, like, depends how far off we want them to be and how closely clustered together. We'll see. We don't know. Because I feel like half the time, like, fairy rings can, like, I don't know. There can be, like, a big old cluster of them or, like, not a lot. So, like, these guys are all, like, clustered together, but not, I don't know. Yeah. They're, like, different. I guess we could make some more varying sizes, actually. Maybe. Would that be an interesting... That would maybe. But yeah, see, there's, like, gaps and stuff. Maybe I do need to make some of them a few different sizes. Anyway, we'll still do this guy, and then maybe we'll make a couple smaller ones. Just sort of interdisperse. We'll see. We'll see. I think what is, like, I struggle with, I'm like, okay, we're doing this thing, and then it's like, okay, if we decide to add little mushrooms in there, then my instinct is I want to make a pattern, so I want to go, like, large mushroom, large mushroom, little mushroom, and then it's like, okay, well, that is, like, I don't know, that feels that it's not as natural, but then I'm like, does that matter? Like, I'm not sure. I think sometimes I get into my own head about, like, how this is gonna be displayed. Because it's like, I don't know. There's like a balance between my desire for realism and my desire for aesthetic pleasingness, you know? But then also, too, sometimes, like, the universe and nature just, like, surprises you, right? Where you think, like, well, there's no way that nature would just think to do this pattern, and then you look at it and then it exists, right? So, I don't know. Maybe it's best to not overthink it. Easier said than done, though. still feel we'll make this other guy. I still think it would be good to make a few small ones. And then, yeah, we'll see. We will see. I mean, like I said, tomorrow we're going to be back here, but we're going to be switching mediums. We're still going to be making the same thing. I am on a mushroom kick, my friends. But instead of needle felting, we're going to be cross-stitching. We're going to cross-stitch some mushrooms to stick in some keychains. It's annoying because these guys are a lot skinnier than the ones that I had before. So I've been struggling a little bit of how to formulate something that would fit really nicely in this sort of skinny size. So I'm thinking of doing more like landscapey type things. But we'll see. We shall see. Make some sense. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's hard when you're not in like when you're in like a bit of a negative headspace to do something. Sometimes it's like a nice welcome distraction to work on something that you're like passionate about that doesn't take like a lot of brain power. But there's also the other side of that. Like, I don't know if you are a very like perfectionist-y type of person where I find there are some crafts I can do when I'm in a shitty mental health state because it's like I can cross stitch when I'm not in a good headspace because I'm like, I'm following a pattern, I'm doing a formula, like this, I'm counting. Like, counting is basic, counting is simple, that is fine. Whereas I do think if I was in a shitty headspace, I don't know if I could needle felt because I know logically that needle felting will not look like what you want it to look like for 90% of the time, but that will not help my current negative mental state. So it just depends like what that provides for you. And also not to put too much pressure on yourself, you know? If you decide you want to start doing a thing and you're like, listen, brain says no, that's okay. It's all about being compassionate with yourself when you don't have all the spoons to get through the day. Sometimes we just gotta take care of our base needs. I'm perfectionist. I'm very yeah, that sucks. I've read as resident, I was gonna say it's not been for a while, but like as somebody who has been in therapy many a time and read many a book, I don't know, you've probably been told this. I think this is probably a thing. Like, this is something that's usually the first thing that people tell you. If you have a little voice in your head, try giving it a name and treating it like it's like a separate person because you're not your thoughts. The tiny voice in your head that's like being a piece of shit, even the tiny voice in your head that's like being a good person and praising you, is separate than you, the person, right? So sometimes it's helpful. Sometimes people find it helpful, some people find it not. If you give that name, if you give that stupid little voice a name, and then when it says something to you, you have to treat it like it's talking shit about your friend, right? Because the thing with sometimes, at least for me, it's like, I'm used to my brain beating me up. You've never been told that? Oh, interesting. Yeah, so like I find like there's a thing where like as a default, we tend to let our brains beat ourselves up. But if your friend spoke that way about themselves, you would be like, you shut the fuck up, you're amazing. You know what I mean? Like, we would go to bat, we would ride or die for the people that are close to us. So sometimes it's like if you give your negative voice in your head a name, like, I don't know, friggin' Fred, you know what I mean? And Fred's like, you're stupid, you're a piece of shit, you don't deserve to have fun, blah, blah, blah. You can be like, Fred, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? You can be like, Fred, stop it, you know what I mean? And sometimes it's a little bit easier because then you're kind of like, it helps to make it helps to separate it from you, the person. Because I think sometimes it's sort of like this thing where I'm like, okay, well, my thoughts are me and I'm my thoughts and we're all intermixed in things. And sometimes it helps to be like, no, the negative thoughts are a separate entity. They are not me. They are not true. They are a bully that's trying to make me feel like shit about myself when I'm actually awesome and deserving of epicness. You know what I mean? Yeah, less personal. Exactly. Especially too, I guess the other thing too, right, is if it was like, if you have like I don't know if this is a good idea, but I was like, oh, if you had like a bully or somebody who was really mean to you, like in school or in your life, that can be the negative voice in your head, and you can say all of the shit that you wish you always could have said to that mean bully in your life, you know? Because that's always the thing. You ever think about that? And I don't know if that's like a petty thing for me, where it's like the people in your life that treated you like shit, and you're like, yeah, I have, you know, years and self-regulation and therapy behind my back now. Like, I would just love for you to see me thrive, you negative piece of shit individual. But no. You know? Yeah, exactly. I can get behind the bully idea, yeah. Because then it feels less bad for you to tell that person off. If anything, it's quite therapeutic. You know? I'm like, someone named, I don't know, I think my bully, it wasn't a bully, but he was just treating me like shit. I'm like, yeah, if my inner voice in my head was named Joel, it'd be a lot easier for me to tell Joel off because I wanted to my entire life, you know? Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. So now, if you... Yeah, I appreciate that. But, yeah. So now it's like, okay, that is now the negative voice in your head. So every time that negative voice is in your head, you can be like, listen, so-and-so, you dumb piece of garbage. I don't believe you. But again, easier said than done. It does take practice. It does take practice to teach your brain how to shut up and to be nice to you. But don't worry. We've been there. We've been there. We've had the negative little crappy voice in our head. Sometimes it still likes to rear its ugly head every once in a while. But then you just have to, you know, do a seance, exorcise the negative self-talk demon from your brain, stick it in a vault, and be like, you will not control me. Keep stabbing, stabbing, stabbing. I can add something to voice in my head. Sometimes I actually feel them when it's positive one. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you have to embrace that. Excellent. Excellent. And he deserved it, actually. He absolutely deserved it. And the positive side in you can high five. High five and point fingers at Mr. Negative and be like, listen, we are the boss in this brain, not you. Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide. Okay, let's add a little bit more. And then we will make a couple little guys. Just a little bunch of little dudes. I do think size and height differences will make it look a little bit more natural. I don't know if I want to go as, I say extreme. I feel like these are all recent. Like they're all varying similar sizes, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. This is a process. This is a journey, and it might not look 100% the way I envisioned it in my brain, but that is the nature of needle felting. And I think it's still going to look cute regardless. It's just how, you know, its final form, its final cuteness evolution. We don't yet know what it's going to look like. This is the last of our larger mushrooms. And then we will switch gears into smaller mushrooms. And then, I'm trying to think. So we have 4 now. If we make 3 little mushrooms and sort of see what that looks like. Calling positive voice. Oh, okay. Shrimp. Sorry, Probacus. Calling positive voice. Miss Canrold. Actually, her name. Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. I've heard of the Demon Slayer series. I have not consumed the Demon. She's bubbly, kind of strong as fuck. Her breathing technique is called love breathing. That's cool. That's awesome. I like that. Okay, yes. Shoulders back. I am no shrimping allowed. I've heard of Demon Slayer. I have not watched Demon Slayer. I am aware of it, though. Only in name. Only in name. I don't know anything about it other than the name. I was gonna say, Liam and I, my partner and I, we've been watching, it's very nice keeping you in check. Yeah, is it? I'm glad. Is it? Yeah. My partner, so Liam's favorite anime is Naruto and Naruto Shippuden, so we've been watching Naruto Shippuden together because I've never seen it and he loved it. The last one I watched, see, my anime of choice, so my desired anime of choice that I consume most frequently, I've realized, because I have this thing where I tend to be really into stuff, but into like very niche specific things. So it seems like, what is it called? It's like limited series, like cozy found family animes. So there was one that I watched, what was it? Poco's Udon World, absolutely obsessed, loved that one. I watched this one called like DIY, which was cute. The only one that I think is outside of that realm was I watched Spy X Family and I loved it. I watched this one, it was like the Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting. That one was real cute too, but it had like some darker tones to it. But yeah, I like cozy found family animes is my bread and butter. The only downside though is they're usually only like a limited series 9-episode arc, and then I finish them and I'm like, but I want to spend more time in the universe. Like Poco's Udon World, I loved it so much. And then I was like, but it's over now, and I want to live in this world for longer than 9 episodes. And they were like, nah, limited run, bitch. And I was like, but, yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, that checks out, right? Based on everything you've learned about my vibe and my aesthetic, it makes sense. Yeah, Yaku. Spy Family is so wholesome. It is wholesome. I do enjoy it a lot. Did you guys know? I don't know if I talked about this. I think I might have talked about this before. I still not listened to it, but I found out the other day that there is a Death Note musical. Are you guys aware of this? Apparently, it came out in like Korea and Japan and stuff like that. It was a thing in like I think it came out in like 2016 or something like that. And there's an actual musical to Death Note. And it's doing a limited run for like 2 nights only in the UK. And because I know Liam liked Death Note, I was like, oh, do you want to go see the Death Note musical? And he's like, no, not particularly. But I had no idea. I had no idea there was a Death Note musical. You might like Jellyfish Princess for some reason. I only watched the dub because I prefer it. Yeah. Maybe. I'll have to check that out. I'll write that down. I'll look into it. I will look into it. Jellyfish Princess. I will look into that one. Perfect. Masha, I will send you the link to the Discord. I will be honest, I am not the best. I respond to stuff. I'm not very good at posting in it, to be quite honest. I've only just gotten really good at posting my stream schedule. We're learning, we're growing. We try our best. Okay. Also, yes, absolutely. Well, you will automatically get added to the friendship map once you fill out the introduce yourself section. So the friendship map is basically it's a Google Doc where I put your name plus your like general location because I don't want to dox you, and then you basically get to see where all of our friends and all of our, you know, people hang out. But yeah, because you join the Discord, you get added in automatically. So if you want to, you can either whisper that to me, or you can just let it know, like general, again, country, province, general region, do not dox yourself, and I can add you to the map if you would like. But yeah, I've just whispered you the invite. Perfect. But yeah. Yay, more friends. But yeah, I can show you guys. What the map of friendship looks like. Can we how do we view the map in a way? Because I feel like this is an edit mode. What is my default view? No. That's weird. I don't know what that means. I don't know what it's called. I don't know what to do. And when you visit somewhere, you know who to DM. Yeah, I guess so. I guess that I never even thought about that as being a thing. Oh, here we go. Preview. There we go. Preview the map of friendship. Excellent. Excellent. Can we hide this? Okay, let's collapse the map legend. There we go. There we go. Can go in a little bit. No, that's not. Yeah, okay. Let's do that. And then let's go over here. And then we'll do this. And then we do this. And there we go, guys. You can see this is the map of friendship. So this is where all of our friends are. And then we can click on here. And it shows where all of the peeps are on the map of friendship. Where everyone is located all over this fantabulous, wonderful world of ours. It's hard to see that. There we go. There we all are. So it's a lot of this, some little one-offs over here. It's a fun time. But yeah. Yay! Yay, right? Are you yaying from the map of friendship, or are you yaying because you are done your auditing shenanigans for the day? Both are exciting. Both are exciting. Amazing. Cool. Awesome. In the Netherlands. Perfect. So we can add you to the map of friendship. The Netherlands. Perfect. Probacus. That's funny. There we go. Let's add new friend. Here we go. How do I get rid of this? Oh, it's up here, right. Right. So we go. Oop. Here we go. Excellent. Amazing! I'm glad you are there. So if you click the link next time it comes around, you should see yourself added to the fold. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, not a problem. Yeah, honestly, I appreciate when you can stick around for a little bit, for a lot of bit, for whatever amount you are able to. I appreciate everyone who is here for whatever amount that they are able to be here for. So don't you worry about it. But thank you. To be fair, we are actually, yeah, we're going to be... We're going to be finishing up in about a half hour anyway, because I usually stream from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. UK time, so we do 3-hour stints. People who can stream for like 5-6 hours, how? Tell me your secrets. Show me the ways. Yeah, I get a bit brain dead. I always joke that my brain shuts off at 6 p.m., so sometimes we end up going over stream time because we're trying to finish stuff, and like, yeah, it takes a minute. You can sometimes see, like, sometimes I will be in absolute brain, like, absolute dial-up mode. I call it that. I'm like, okay, my brain is on dial-up mode right now, so it's going to take me a little bit of extra time to process everything. So, you know. Oh, Dark Souls 1. Amazing. It's not... Is that the key to everything? Is that gonna solve all my problems? Just keep my posture straight. Keep my posture straight and the rest of my life will just fall together, right? Is that how it works? Okay, so we have 4 mushrooms of relatively similar size. We are now going to try to make a couple small ones. See what that looks like. Yeah. Don't know. Let's see. Let's go. Yeah, no problem. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope your visit goes well. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day. I know it didn't start out the greatest, but hopefully we end on a positive high note. But yes. Yes, it was at the top of the manual of how to get good. Oh, excellent. Okay, okay. Rule number 1 on how to get good. Posture. I believe this is probably too small. But we shall see. Okay. So now we make some tiny mushrooms. Not tiny, just smaller than what we've made thus far. To add some dimension, some layers, we will, I don't know, we'll see. And then, yeah. I think if I have time, I will work more on this guy over the weekend as well. But we'll see. I don't know if I'll be able to finish it before Tuesday's stream like I did this guy. But who knows? We'll see. We'll see what happens. But hopefully, I'm hoping that tomorrow we can pump out like 2 or 3 keychains in one go. But we'll see. That is the goal. The goal is 3. Whether or not that happens, we don't know yet. Oh, geez, Scoop. What else have we got going on? We're like halfway through the month already. That's rude. That's rude. Okay. So Friday we'll do that. I think we will, yeah. We'll probably finish out this month by going ham on the needle felted mushrooms. And then next month, I have decided. So I guess, to be fair, I'm going to have to start going and getting supplies for this. But I have mentioned this, how I do want to make a Princess Mononoke San Halloween costume. I guess I'm going to call it a cosplay, though, because it will be a thing that I'm making for multiple times. But the plan is to make it to be able to wear for Halloween. That's the goal. And I would like to make all of the components. We already did make a dress once on this stream, so I think hopefully it will not be too complicated to make another one. Especially because I think that we're going to be getting less finicky fabric, and there will be less of it. I already have been scoping patterns out. We're going to attempt some like clay molding and baking to make the jewelry pieces that San wears. I'm going to get Liam to hopefully 3D print me a Princess Mononoke mask, so I can paint that and do all the things. But yes, I think usually, see, this is good, because usually what happens is I decide I would like to dress up for Halloween, and then October comes, and I'm like, damn, I don't have enough time to do shit, and then I don't end up doing that. So this year, I'm trying to be proactive and actually make this shit happen. So we'll see. But yeah. So I think a trip to Hobbycraft is in order. I have to reactivate my bank card though, because I keep forgetting my PIN. and now my card is locked and I can only unlock it if I go to my bank specific ATM. Apparently I can go to just like any old ATM, but it doesn't always work. But the nearest like bank branch is too far away for me to justify going on a trip just for that reason. So eventually I need to do that because like I got stuff to buy. I got stuff to do. I got shit to do. I got stuff to buy. So I need my card to be reactivated. It only seems to be a problem for in-person transactions because I guess obviously going through PayPal for stuff makes it easier for that, for like online things. But yeah, I keep forgetting my PIN. And then it turns out that apparently there's a button on my banking app that I can click on and it actually tells me what my PIN is so I can't forget it. I didn't know that that was a feature of the app. Now I do know, so that will hopefully not be a problem anymore. But I was like, oh, that would have been nice to know. The like 3 times I forgot it and then locked my card. Would have been helpful. Now, is this too small? No, I think it's fine. I don't know. I think the problem sometimes with like the ones that are really small is getting that sort of dome shape that I want. Which is going to be interesting because I think some of the like bonnet type of mushrooms in here are small. Like they actually are as a default quite small and they're all very domed. So I do need to get better at sort of doming these smaller structures because I think there will be a lot more of that with some of the other mushroom species that I would like to felt. It's going a bit better. Oh, see, I caught myself before you could call me out, Probacus. I noticed I was activating Craft Gremlin mode, and I stopped myself. See, she's learning. She's learning. My brain's not shut off yet. It's not 6 o'clock yet, so I am getting better. There are some little stragglers that I would like to try to capture into here. I don't know how I feel about it. I think it'll be fine, but you know. I think I just want to firm up these edges a bit. Firm up the edges, but not lose the dome that I seem to have cultivated. But then as soon as I try to fix these edges, the dome seems to collapse, which is so ideal. kind of, sort of, kind of, maybe. I don't know. We're gonna keep doing it because, again, obviously just one looks kind of weird, but like, yeah, we will add a few more. Maybe I won't do like every other one. You're making pizza, by the way. Very nice. That sounds yummy. I really want bangers and mash for dinner, but we don't have any sausages. I've ordered some to come tomorrow, so maybe we can do chicken fried rice, egg fried rice. That's one of my favorites. When Liam makes egg fried rice, we don't have everything, but we just need like eggs, rice, chicken, maybe some veg. I think that's what I want. That's why I'm like, yeah, not a problem, dude. Not a problem at all. What kind of pizza is it gonna be? I'm excited. You better post food pics afterwards. Your food pics are always so good. They always make me hungry, though. Speaking of which, I should eat more of my granola bar. Very nice. That sounds really good. Are you doing like a tomato base? Or are you doing like a pesto base or something? That sounds really good. You know I love me some feta. You know I'm all about that feta life. Ow. Okay, that one actually hurt. We didn't draw blood though. That's okay. 3 cheeses. We love that. Tomato base. Yeah, just make the base. Kasiri. Okay. I am. Yes, sir. We are Googling. Traditional Greek Turkish cheese made from unpasteurized sheep's milk with no more than 20% goat's milk. Oh. Apparently it's meant to be similar in, I guess, texture and flavor to mozzarella and provolone. Provolone is good. I feel like provolone is slept on. I forget, and every once in a while I get like sliced provolone for sandwiches, and I'm like, oh, that's nice. Tea and cakes, hello, hello. Thank you very much for the lurk. Oh, that's a cute emo. Is that a frog sitting on a mushroom? That is the vibe. That is 100% the vibe. Absolutely. Excellent, excellent. Yep, yeah, that sounds really nice. That's gonna be so good. I love when multiple cheeses are on something. Like a 4 cheese, 3 cheese. Like anytime multiple cheeses, that's a good time. Oh, right. Well, like the juices of the cheese? Like, is it one of those really sort of, like, it gets super oily? That's the only problem. Yeah. When you add lots of different cheeses, sometimes if some of the cheeses are very oily as you, like, bake and melt stuff, then it, like, yeah. That's true. That's true. That is a potential concern. You wanna mitigate your grease to bread ratio a little bit. But it'll be fine. It'll be fine. That sounds excellent. Munching on Parmesan and drinking morning coffee. That sounds like a perfect combo. Cheese and coffee. Sign me up. Love that. Speaking of beverages. That is 100% the vibes. Nice, I approve. Exactly. That is 100% the vibe. Oh, the tea is cold, but it is still tasty. Yeah, hopefully we will get this little one other small mushroom cap felted. And then probably 2 more. I'm thinking because this little guy will go here. And then we probably need 2 more of either small or varying sizes. We'll see. We'll see. I can't imagine being lactose intolerant. My life will be so empty. Hey man, that's what people tell me when they tell me, like when I tell them that I have celiac disease. They're like, I couldn't live without pasta. And I'm like, there's quite a good gluten-free alternative. To be fair, vegan cheeses are getting there. I think one of their downfalls is obviously their like meltability. They don't melt very well. You don't know that. Oh yeah. It's one of those things where your body can't handle it, but like, hey man, that's what lactate's for. There are ways in which you are able to enjoy cheese, even if your body doesn't want you to. But yeah, I do feel, because like, my brother-in-law was vegan for a little bit, and so we had like vegan cheese and stuff, and my sister-in-law is lactose intolerant, and so like I think it gets to the point, like, sometimes, like, it gets really bad where it's not worth, you know, putting your bowels through that effort. But other times it is. So sometimes, we would have, like, vegan cheese stocked in the house and whatever. And some of them are not bad. I guess the thing is, though, sometimes with, like, alternatives, like vegan alternatives, if you're trying to get basically a recreation of a flavor or a dish that you are not able to have for whatever reason, it sometimes misses the mark. Like, I definitely think there is a difference between the taste of bacon and vegan bacon, but if you can sort of get your fix in a way and the flavor still tastes good to you, even if it's different, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Greek yogurt because it's goat's milk. Many people that are lactose intolerant can enjoy it. Oh yeah, interesting. I have heard about that where it's like you have to, like certain, or it's like, you know, certain cheeses or certain things, like you said, probably because of the different types of milk or like the intensity or amount of milk is more or less tolerable for people. Yeah, dude, that pisses me off so much too. Because I know, like, I try to eat Greek yogurt. And yeah, the amount of Greek style yogurt is so annoying to me. I'm like, no, I want the actual Greek yogurt. Yeah. Yeah, it does. It does. People think that they're getting this, because I know as well, like, Liam did this thing. He went on this like fitness journey, and so a friend of ours who's like a personal trainer and whatever did this fitness thing and like gave him like a meal plan as well as a fitness plan, whatever, right? And one of the things on the list was Greek yogurt. And then that's when we realized how many Greek style yogurts there are, and they're not like the fat and the milk content that you are looking for when you're trying to get that for a specific reason. Yeah. See, I get Faya total yogurt. But I have started getting the Faya 0%, and part of me does feel like it's probably not legit. But Faya is the brand that I buy if I am buying Greek yogurt. I don't recommend. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I think I started doing, I can't remember why I started doing that. You know when it's sometimes you're like, okay, you're trying to like make healthy choices, so your goal is to be like 0% this and whatever, but I know that there's probably like tons of additives in it and like all this kind of bullshit. So I probably should switch back to the 5%. I feel like probably it would be better for me. My family used to have goats and we would make Greek yogurt. That's nice. Could not stand drinking the milk but make Greek yogurt and custard. That's so cool. That's awesome. Yeah, I don't think I've ever drank goat's milk. I don't think I've ever drank. I've never been, because like my family, we were all sort of, I think it was also pre celiac diagnosis. A lot of times celiac gets misdiagnosed as gluten intolerance because a lot of times like that's sort of the default elimination diet thing. So I never grew up drinking milk. I would have ice cream, cheese, whatever, but I never grew up drinking milk. Like when people would have like a glass of milk and a cookie, like I never did that because we always had like soy milk and rice milk in the house and I never desired to have a glass of that. So yeah, I've never tasted a lot of alternative milks. I do a lot of coconut milk in granola now. Like if I am gonna have a milk, it's very gamey and musky. Interesting. A gamey milk. That would be a very bizarre taste for sure. A friend in LA said, ooh, I'm eating Greek yogurt. And I'm like, cool, tell me the brand. And I'm like, oh my God, they're lying to your face. Oh no. You're like, that is a lie. Thank you so much, Teen Cakes, for the follow. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah. 100% in the mood. Haha. That's so cool. I always love that. Like, it's one of those where I know that, like, I've attempted to grow my own vegetables one year, and it was semi-successful. We got some potatoes and stuff like that. But yeah, people who are able, like, people who have chickens and are able to get, like, their free-range eggs or whatever, like, people who, I don't know, man. People who, in the event of an apocalypse, are not reliant on a grocery store, like, those skills, I'm fascinated and, like, in awe of, you know? They don't just go as Greek style, they straight up lie. Really? Well, that's the other thing, too, because obviously different countries and areas will have different, like, regulations about what you can and can't put on, I think Greek style just means, like, because you know how Greek yogurt is usually quite thick? Because I think a lot of yogurts here are traditionally very thin and, like, creamy and kind of watery, whereas I feel like sometimes the Greek yogurt, like, you could almost cut it. Like, not to the extent that you could cut the Greek yogurt, but, like, it, when you scoop it, it, like, holds its shape. Whereas I think a lot of, like, stirred yogurt here, you scoop it up and it's sort of like it's a bit more, like, viscous or whatever. And so I think Greek yogurt, or Greek style yogurt, is they increase the thickness of it. That's all it is. They just make it thick with multiple C's. Well, it sucks because they lie and they're asking a big price. Yeah, absolutely. But it's all about the money, money, money. We all want your money, money, money. Right? Capitalism, baby. But yeah, it depends, definitely different regions. Because the other thing too, even something as dumb as, like, I love being gluten-free in the UK more than I love being gluten-free in Canada. Because, here, they have to, on all of the ingredients listings in food in the UK, they have to bold the 10 most common allergens. So in Canada, they don't bold their allergens, and sometimes you're reading a can of soup and there's like 25 ingredients on it because it's full of everything. And you basically have to play like ingredient chicken. So you're reading through it and you're like, okay, I'm getting to the finish line of this ingredient list. Haven't seen barley, haven't seen gluten, haven't seen spelt. This is awesome. We're killing it. Second last ingredient, you're like, wheat, bullshit. Whereas here, I can look and be like, okay, what's bolded? Wheat, barley, malt's not bolded, boom, it's fine. So much easier, so much less time consuming. I'm like, I don't want to spend 2 hours in the grocery store because I have to read every single thing I pick up. And that's what was happening. I want to try loofahs next year. My family now has turned their entire front yard into a homestead with lots of fruit trees, berry bushes, chicken. Ooh, that's so cool. I like that. That's awesome. That's so awesome. I'm really excited this year because the dog park that we take my dog Shadow to, we take him to, it's sort of like on farmland, and so they actually have apple orchards on the property, and it's sort of like a take what you'll use sort of thing, and they have like a bunch of different varieties of apples, and so I'm really excited. I actually consciously want to, during harvesting season, get apples and like make an apple pie this year. I just think, I don't know, I just really want to do that. They also have, actually checked too, they have like wild cherry bushes and things like that. I don't know if you can, I assume you can like eat them because I know there's certain, like I know the apples are definitely edible, but like this place has a bunch of, apparently they have pears and stuff too. I've not found or seen them because we walk past, like the way that the dog park is arranged is kind of like a loop. Yeah, it's kind of like a loop, and so you pass by the like apple orchard part. You don't necessarily pass by the other fruit trees in the same way. But yeah, I think that'd be really fun because we've not done a baking stream for a while. Obviously, I'm talking about this in the context of like the fall or whatever, but every once in a while we do a baking stream, and I think that would be really freaking cozy to do an apple pie stream. So massive veg, yeah. Still, yeah. I live in apartments, but I do drive to the homestead for harvest season to help with the processing and get to take home a bunch. So that's awesome. Honestly, too, it's so good when you like know people who have green thumbs. You want to make stuff that would be really nice. Because the same thing used to happen to in my neighborhood. So my friend's parents and our parents are were quite close, and my friend's mom's mom had a garden, and so what would happen sometimes is they would go and be like harvesting like tomatoes, whatever, and they wouldn't have enough, like they would have more than enough for themselves. And so then sometimes like my mom would come home from work or we'd come home from school and there would just be a bag hanging on the doorknob to our house because our friend's mom had dropped off a bunch of like the overstock veg for us from her mom's garden, which is awesome. Yeah. Oh, that sounds yum. Love some eggplant. Yeah. Oh, Binge Bear. Hello. Hello. Welcome in, Raiders. Oh my goodness. Jeez, this is already the time. Time has flown. We have been stabbing away, making little mushroom friends. How are you? I hope you've had a fabulous stream. Let me know what you've been up to. Binge Bear, are we binging content? Are we binging films, movies, nostalgic content? I'm a big old sucker for some nostalgia, specifically of the 2000s and 90s. I know I said those in opposite chronological order, but yeah, welcome in. How are you? If you have to raid and run, I totally understand. My name's Nostalgia Tash. We are just doing, cozy, crafty, magical stuff. We're needle felting. Usually, so bread and butter crafts, we're a crafting channel for the most part. Sometimes we bake, sometimes we game, mostly we craft. But needle felting, yes. Cross stitching is another one. Sometimes other things. Craft Binge was doing some fuse beads. Oh, cool. Are those the perler beads where you like lay them on a pattern and then you stick some plastic paper and then you iron it and then it fuses them all together and it makes a cool thing? That's what I'm assuming it is. Correct me if I'm wrong. That is my assumption because I think they're called different things in different spaces, but I also believe in fairies. Excellent. Well, we are in the process of making a fairy circle, a little mushroom fairy circle. So we've made one little tiny mushroom creation with our Amanita muscaria mushrooms, the classic OG folklore fabulous. When you think mushrooms, these are the ones you think of. So now we are thinking we're going to make a fairy circle out of these specific. It's your first time doing them. Oh, amazing. How did you find it? It's always interesting and fun when you do a new craft for the first time, right? Also, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you being here. Yeah, how was your first foray into the perler beads, into the melty beads? What did you make? What design did you make as well? I hope it went well. It's always interesting when you learn a new craft, right? I'm mainly plant-based and always look for new foods to try. Oh, that's awesome. Especially things like with eggplant or like courgettes, aka zucchini. Eggplant's also called what? Aubergine. That's the other term for it. But yeah. Any good. Love a good food rec. Love it. But yeah, so we're slowly, you know, trucking along, doing the things. It's very easy to make. There are vegan solutions. Absolutely. Yeah, of course. And that's the thing, when you do like a stuffed pepper or like a stuffed courgette or a stuffed eggplant, you don't necessarily have to add meat to it. It could just be like rice and veg and cheese and whatever of the plant-based variety. Because like I said, there are vegan cheeses now that are not bad. See, now you're all making me hungry. That's the thing. It's around that time. It's about, you know, we start thinking about food. See, I go into like caveman brain mode, dial-up brain mode after 6 o'clock. My brain starts to like shut off, and all of my, you know, core lizard brain instincts kick in, and I'm like, okay, food and water and I always have beans or tofu. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, we always talk about food. I know, but it's like, you know, food makes the world go around. Okay, I think we're gonna finish up this little guy. We're gonna assess what the plan is, and then talk not took. Hey man, we talk about tooking on to talk to. It's fine. I knew what you meant. I knew what you meant. How do we feel about this guy? Food is a good common ground. It's true. It's true. It definitely. Food is one of the great unifiers. I'm similar to you, tea and cakes, where it's like I quite enjoy learning about new foods and learning new food options. I'm the type of person where, because obviously I have food restrictions because I have to eat gluten-free, but if I am not, if there's no gluten in it, I will try it. I will try anything. I will try and eat anything once if there's no gluten in it. Just because I like opening myself up to new culinary experiences, if you will. Food, books, crafts, and nature. That's true. We don't talk about books in a while. When have we ever talked about books? I don't remember that. I've talked about all the books I've not read that are still on my to-read shelf that just continues to get bigger and bigger. Are you talking about how those are unifiers? Because possibly. Crafts are unifiers in my mind, in my brain. Okay. This guy's a little bit less rounded. Let's sort of mushroom. Let's give him a bit more of a dome. And then we will assess. And then... Okay, I'm reading The Spies in the Balkans but from Alan First. Interesting. Interesting. I'm from Midwest US, and most people here are not plant-based. So it can be hard to find food. That's hard too. Yeah, it depends where you are versus your access, right? So it would then end up being a lot more of you, like you said, you making and cooking your own stuff. So as opposed to like going to a supermarket and finding like all of the plant-based vegan frozen dinners, if that's not something that's sort of available where you are because of like, it's not as popular or whatever, you end up having to sort of outsource and find different things that you end up making yourself. Definitely. So here are recommendations. Keep in mind, bit spicy sometime. What's a bit spicy? Food or books? Frozen dinners? Blah. Excuse me. Sometimes sometimes you just want some artificial chemical bullshit that tastes good, you know? Like, I had gluten-free TV dinner mac and cheese the other day. Was it calorically significant in any way? I'm sure it wasn't. Was it freaking tasty but probably had 4 times the amount of sodium I needed to intake for the day? Probably, but I freaking loved it. Because every once in a while, it's like, you know how sometimes you just need to fill your brain with some mush, and that's why people watch reality TV or, you know, read like trashy magazines or whatever? Sometimes you just gotta heat up a frozen dinner. Though it is never as good as the real thing. I do agree. A good home-cooked meal will always usurp a frozen TV dinner, but sometimes you just don't want to cook, you know? Sometimes the microwave is all you want. The Spice and Bulk. Oh, is it spicy? The book is spicy? Ooh la la. Ooh la la. Is it a fictional book? You don't even have a microwave. A lot of people don't. I feel like a lot of people don't have microwaves. I don't know if I could survive without one, to be quite honest. I do a lot of stuff in the microwave. I just told you guys how I made s'mores in the microwaves. I mean, spies. Yeah. Oh. It's true. Spies they gotta do what they gotta do for the sake of the mission. There's a lot of I feel like every spy story has a little bit of scandalous, saucy moments, right? I also do not have a microwave. Yeah, see, I feel like it's probably more common in a lot of places to not have a microwave than it is to have a microwave. Helps out. Yeah, 100%. Exactly. Yeah. See, I see Probacus. So when you're posting all of your amazing, yummy food pictures, I just have to assume it's actually your partner that's doing all the cooking and you're just taking all of the credit. She is actually the one here who's making us all hungry with her amazing food and recipes and epicness. You're just taking all the glory. Nah, it's not. Okay. Okay, so I think we are, what, 75% finished making the mushroom tops. I think we can either make 2 more little guys or 1 more large one. Probably make a large one, I guess. I don't know. So that'll be what we're working on. But it is, oh geez. The caps exploded. The caps exploded. It is past 6 o'clock, guys. It is past our stream time. It is past my proverbial brain bedtime. So if anyone has any raid suggestions, let me know. Or else we will go see which of our wonderful friends is online and we will go and raid them. Save on kitchen space. Yeah, that's true. It's true. A microwave does take up a lot of space. A lot of people will have like microwave carts where they will like wheel it in and out because yeah, counter space is a precious commodity. I do declare. I do believe. All right. But yes, so here's what we've got. Here's the one we've made before. So I am going to try to work on this on the weekend. If I do get it done, cool. We'll start a new mushroom extravaganza experience on Tuesday. If not, we will continue working on this next week because tomorrow we are switching gears and we are cross-stitching tomorrow. Cross-stitching some keychains. We're cross-stitching more mushrooms though. I'm on a mushroom kick, you guys. We are living our forest core realness. We will use the rest of the dough to make small olive tomato pies. Aw, yum! That sounds really nice. All right, let's see who's online. Let's see who's around to raid. What are we feeling? What are our vibes today? What are we looking for? Wait for this to load. But yeah, back here tomorrow. That is the plan. Who's up? Who's up? Do 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 do. Okay, Soul's online playing Final Fantasy. Septix is playing Darkest Dungeon. Ooh, we can go to Claire Coffee. What is Claire Coffee doing? Art and silliness with Pop-Tart. Dragon Rider is spinning yarn. Fat Rabbit's playing Battle Bit. Severus is playing Phasmophobia. Hobbit's playing Deep Rock Galactic. Positronics is playing Crusaders. Sure, let's go meet a new friend. I'm always down. I'm always down. Claire Coffee. Are we gonna have to start a fight though, because we're on different warm beverage alliances? You know that I'm Team Tea. Though I do have 1 cup of coffee every morning, because I also need caffeinated go-go juice. Because tea doesn't always cut it, my friends. Summary halloumi, toast and coffee. Is this a baking stream? You're gonna make me hungry, my dude. Well, cool, why not? Let's go get hungry. Let's go get hungry. I love halloumi. Guys, this if you're learning this about me, I just think I really like cheese. I really like cheese. Is what it is. Alright, here's the raid message. Let's go see Claire Coffee. Let's go see Cozy Baking Stream Wonderfulness. And hope, you know, probably get hungry in the process. But thank you guys for hanging out with me today. We will be back here tomorrow for more crafty, cozy realness. And yeah, let's do it. Let's go raid. Let's go make a new friend. And I'll see you later. Bye!